Hello everyone, welcome to this live stream. So really excited about this one. This is going to be a new for everyone, so I'm really excited to have the return of the Nuke Deconstruction series, which we haven't done in a while. I think the last time we did the Nuke Deconstructions were like about 11 months ago. I think almost a year. So really looking forward to this stream. I think it's going to be great. And so do please let me know if everything is fine, if the sound is good, and if you can hear me fine. I hope the sound is coming through well. I'm doing a stream in a different setup today because I had to have an extra machine to stream because I'm using the GPU so much on my computer that I kind of had to have a second machine to do that. So we'll see if it goes well. My fingers are crossed, and so it's all good. So yeah, I can see a lot of familiar faces on the chat. So just so everyone knows, I'm streaming simultaneously. So I'm streaming on YouTube and also streaming on Twitch as usual. So if you prefer, you can be on YouTube, or if you prefer, you can be on Twitch as well. Either pick. Now, the thing with that in mind is that normally there's a lot more people watching on YouTube than on Twitch. So keep that in mind. You know, if you want to be part of the chat, maybe consider that maybe the chat on YouTube is a bit more lively. That's kind of like what I would say. One thing, I just need to make sure this is on. Where is it? Yeah, it is now. It is now. It was switched off, but now it's on. We're gonna have a really great day today. We're gonna be talking about CopyCat. So it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be great. I'm really looking forward to showing you what I've been up to. I've been really diving quite deeply into CopyCat and really testing it out and seeing it, how can I use it in production, since I've used it in production a few times, but not really to an extent that it would be used as a real production. I've used it with rescaling, and I've used it with some small stuff, but not really heavy. And I really wanted to show my findings really to everyone and really have a conversation with all of you. So this is not really, it's not really a tutorial, I would say. This is more like, I'm going to show you some stuff. I'm going to show you what I've found. I'm going to show you some tests. Obviously, it can't really be a tutorial because we can't be waiting here for like 5 hours for CopyCat to process something. So I've, of course, pre-processed stuff already beforehand. But I'll get to that in a second. First off, I'm going to just go to the motions, as I usually do. So first off, as you know, this stream is sponsored by Foundry, as you probably have noticed. I have my badge that says "Ask me anything about Nuke," so it is here. It is here. And Foundry is sponsoring this stream. I can't thank them enough for all the support and help. Really can't thank enough Julia for all the help and everything. Can't thank all the team at Foundry, Jan, Christian, everyone that has been part of all of this process and helping me on the channel and sponsoring and everything. And so thank you so much, Julia. Thank you so much, Jan. Thank you so much, Foundry. Hope you're having a great day. And I can't thank you enough for supporting the stream like this. And so with that in mind, I wanted to also let you know that we have a special giveaway today. We normally give away the course, but today we have a more special giveaway. We have a giveaway of a Nuke Indie license, and so I'm just going to put it on the screen. Maybe I'll put myself on that corner. So that's the giveaway we're going to have around the end of the stream. And so I will put the link on the chat now. It's already on the chat, but I'll put it again. And so if anyone is interested on getting a free Nuke Indie license, which is worth £500, it's a 1-year license for Nuke Indie, courtesy of the Foundry. They sponsored the stream, so they gave me the license to give it away. And so, yeah, that's the QR code. That's the link there. The link is also on the chats. I've put them both on the Twitch chat and on the YouTube chat. Apologies if you can hear my air conditioning. It is quite warm here with all the computers and all the graphic cards and everything. I have almost everything on, as you can see on my command center here. The only thing I don't have on is my CRT, because of course I don't need the CRT today. I'm not gonna play any retro games, and I also don't have the Sky TV box up here on, because I'm not gonna watch TV while we do the stream. So that's the only two things not on right now. So I have another computer on the back there, and I have 2 computers on. So yeah, it's quite lively and it's quite warm here. And so just wanted to hello there. Yeah, and so that giveaway is sponsored by the Foundry. Here it is. I brought their special T-shirt here, which they were so kind to offer me when it was the anniversary of the 20 years. 20 years or 25? Maybe it was 25. I can't remember now off the top of my head. Maybe it was 25. I can't remember. So yeah, so if you guys want, that's the giveaway. The other giveaway that we also have as usual, we have a giveaway with my Nuke course as well. So and remember, as usual, when I say this on the stream, if you already have my course, you can still run the giveaway, and then I can give you either the workshops, which is my other course, or I can put you up in line for my new course that is coming up soon, which is about onset supervision as well. So that's kind of like the thing there. So yeah, so that's the two giveaways I've out of the way, and can't thank enough Foundry. And so because the Foundry is the sponsor of this stream, I'm just gonna like really quickly just run a commercial from Foundry. And so, as always, thank you so much, Foundry, for sponsoring the stream. I'll leave you with a 1-minute little commercial from them, from their learning page, which I can't, I can't recommend enough. It is an amazing resource for you to learn Nuke. I think it is by far the best online course for Nuke is this page, the learning page from the Foundry, and also their second YouTube channel, Foundry Learn. So I'll leave you with that in a second. I'll be right back.
Foundry's Nuke is the industry standard tool for compositing in the film and TV industry. We've produced and curated all the essential resources for learning Nuke and preparing you for the profession, as well as recommendations for other training resources. You'll learn compositing fundamentals, rotoscoping, keying, tracking objects, color management, 3D compositing, and much more. Our objective is to empower artists with all the knowledge they need to push their skills to the next level. Jump in and start learning today.
Cool. So, as always, thank you so much, Foundry, for sponsoring the stream. Can't thank you enough. Yeah, it is I think it's going to be 30 years, isn't it, Fox? That's right. Foxhound on YouTube here is saying it. I think it's 30 years. I think it was 25, and I think that's when I got the shirt and they got the little pin and everything. I think the pin was from FMX. I can see a lot of familiar faces on the chat. Hi, Claudia. How you doing? Thanks so much for joining. Claudia is amazing. Thank you so much for supporting the show and being here. Claudia, of course, is from Scape Studios, and she runs the compositing course there. So really recommend that course as well. So yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. I mean, just for you all to know as well, this stream is not going to be the only stream we're going to be doing with the Nuke Deconstructions. We're going to have 3 of them. There will be 3 streams happening, in the near future. Today is the first one for the Nuke Deconstruction, which is going to be focused on CopyCat. Then the second one, I don't have a page yet, but the second one will be on the 18th of November, so you can put your calendars there. Most likely we'll continue the CopyCat extravaganza on that one as well. And then the last stream will be on the 4th of December, and that's a really special stream. We're going to be deconstructing the new 3D system of Nuke 17. So we're going to open up Nuke 17, which is in beta right now, and we're going to basically run the new 3D system. It's going to be great. Really looking forward to that, and I can't wait for that to happen. Other things that I just wanted to let everyone know, of course, really quickly. If you're interested in my Nuke courses are 70% off right now. Just check it out. Maybe do it after the giveaways, of course, because you might win on the giveaway. You never know. And so that is it. The courses. Also, I must say this to my students, if there are students watching here, what you're about to watch today is going to be like a little teaser of what's coming. So everything I'm showing, all the shots I'm showing today, all the preparations, all the CopyCat investigation, and all the CopyCat scripts will be available on my Nuke course. And I am preparing an entire week of classes for Nuke CopyCat that will be distributed for free on my students. And so expect that soon. So everything you see here today, I will dive much deeper into those classes as well. So because while I was preparing for this stream, I recorded classes and I was preparing all these scripts so that I could run them on the Nuke course as well. So expect that to come as well. I think that's it, really. Like, let's not really spend any more time or waste any more time with this. So again, thank you so much, everyone here. That is joined in. We have a lot of people watching. So we have 60 people live on YouTube right now, and we have 10 people on Twitch. So can't thank you enough. It's fantastic. I can't thank all of you enough for being here. So thank you so much. So let's open up Nuke and let's just get diving in right into this. And so give me just 1 second. And okay, so I'm just gonna open up Nuke here. Well, I'm gonna put Nuke up here. So so I have quite a few things that I want to go through today. So as I said, this is not a copycat tutorial because there's a lot of resources of copycats on the Foundry page. There's quite a lot of things that they've put out. Foundry has done an amazing job with the masterclasses they've prepared and everything. So today my entire thing is really to showcase examples of how we can use copycat. And I've brought in some production shots that I've done in the past. And some of these production shots, at the time, there wasn't any copycat. And so that's going to be the interesting part of it, because it's going to be going through it, some of the shots that I wish I had copycat in the time. Hey, Sajal, how you doing? It's not a problem, Sajal, not a problem at all. You don't need to moderate the stream. It's not a problem. Don't worry. Don't get too stressed about it. I'm going to moderate the stream myself. I know Sajal is always our moderator. Thank you so much for doing that. But don't worry about it, my friend. I'm going to keep track of the questions. And I just ask people to be a bit patient. Also, be a little bit patient. I have a cold, so I'm under the weather, so I might sneeze or I might do some weird noises with my nose, and I do apologize. And having said that, I have to blow my nose right now, so I'll mute myself so you don't have to hear that. Just give me a second. I blame Ian Files. Ian Files was here, and he passed me on his cold. Damn it! Anyway, as I was saying, you have a lot of resources on the Foundry's website to learn how the copycat works. And copycat is a really simple thing as well, and so it's not a really complicated thing to learn. I think what I wanted to really emphasize today is really how important it is for your correct approach to a problem. And that's really what copycat is you have a problem and you need to have the correct approach for copycat to even work to solve the problem you have. The first thing you need to consider, and that is why I'm streaming on a different computer, is that copycat is incredibly heavy on your GPU. And so I wouldn't recommend you doing anything else. So that's why I'm not streaming from this machine. So this machine is only running Nuke right now. I have a separate machine running the stream, which is a new for me. But it's just because it is really heavy. And although I have two graphic cards, I'm running a Mac, by the way. So it is a bit slower than the PC version. So if you have a PC, you're gonna get a better performance out of a copycat with NVIDIA cards. But just so you know, it also runs on a Mac as well. It is also possible to run it on a Mac. I'm currently running two graphic cards. So I have a dual AMD Radeon Pro with 32 gigs of VRAM each. And so I have two of them. There's two. It's called a duo because it's like two graphic cards inside one single thing. And the most important thing for you to really run copycat is really to have a lot of VRAM, because the bigger the frames you're trying to do, the bigger you need to develop what you're doing with the machine learning. It is really going to need a lot of VRAM. And so if you can get a machine with my machine, like I said, I have two graphic cards with 32 VRAM each, but you don't need 32, but it's good. It's good to have. So far, of all the tests I've done, I've never ran out of VRAM, which is indicative of 32 really being a good number for you to have enough. But I'm assuming you can also have 15, you can have 16, even 12. What I would say is that most likely having 8 gigs of VRAM is probably going to be too little for you to run CopyCat effectively, especially if you're running HD and 4K plates as well. Even before I continue, thank you so much, RC Emperor, for becoming a member on my channel. Can't thank you enough. Your name will be on my credits now, so thank you so much. And yeah, Sajal has a good point there on the YouTube comments. 2 5090s or an A6000 would be great. Yes, of course, but Sajal, no one is rich, and so maybe you don't have that. But I think a really good gaming card will also do the trick. But I'm just warning everyone that 8 gigs of VRAM will probably not be enough for you to run considerably long things, you know. So the first setup I have here, and like I said on the beginning, for my students, which I know a lot of them are watching, all of these shots will be fully constructed on the course, and so I'll go step by step. Obviously, in here I've already done them because I had to process the machine learning before, because we couldn't be here for 8 hours watching. You know, I could sing, I guess, for 8 hours, but you probably don't want to listen to that. And so I've already pre-prepared, but we're going to go through it anyway, don't worry. So I have this shot here, which was a shot that we did a couple of years ago. This was for a film called Baby Teeth. It was a short film directed by Peter Lavalzi and Martin Dixon, and so Martin Dix. And so it was a short film that I supervised on LA, and it was basically, you know, the whole story of the film is that they replace their teeth with baby teeth. It's a really, really funny film, and it's a really silly film as well. And so at the time when we did this project, this was constructed with the help of my students at Campus I-12, and we had all these shots that had like tracking markers on the face because we had to do a complete 3D scan of the face so we could put the teeth inside. I'll show you. I'll show you really quickly what I'm talking about. And so if I open up here, where's the stream? Sorry, I apologize. Just gonna like open up a folder here. And where is it? This would be Deconstruction. Yeah, Deconstruction. So this is 14. And I have, yeah, I won't show you the short film, of course, the whole thing. But this is kind of like what it was at the time. So you're gonna text her back. I'm gonna just like mute to this because we don't need that. And that's the shot that you're about to see is one of these shots. I think it's over here. This is the shot. Okay, this is 10 years ago, of course, but yeah, so she has like baby teeth inside her mouth. It's really, really disturbing, the short film. It's online on YouTube, you can watch it. And a lot of people have these baby teeth. It's really silly. And we had to track and comp all these baby teeth on every mouth of everyone. So we had to do it in CG, of course. It was a quite tricky job at the time. But, you know, it was great. My students helped me a lot with this. It was great. We did a lot of rotoscoping. We did a lot of painting as well. And, of course, we had to have the dots on the faces because we had to, like, track completely the face so we could put the mouth and the tongue and the new teeth as well. So that's really it. It's so disturbing. This is such a disturbing thing to watch now. I didn't remember how disturbing this becomes. But anyway, so this is the shot. And so at the time when we did it, of course, this was quite tricky. This is the original comp that was made at the time. So originally the comp was basically we had this plate, and then there was a long affair of basically tracking all the markers. It was undistorted because we did have the grid. This was the grid. The whole like I said, I'm Deconstructing this, but don't worry that for my students, I will run this node by node for you to watch. But in here, this is why this is called the Nuke Deconstruction. So I'm Deconstructing this thing. So many questions about VRAM in the chat. If anyone joins in a stream like this, they will see, oh my God, this is the geekiest stream in the world. I will try to answer about the VRAM questions at some point, but let me just go with the flow now, and I'm not going to interrupt myself. And so I will try to go back to the questions a bit later. So maybe we can all decide that maybe once I'm before we do a break or something, give me at least half an hour for me to go through some things, and then maybe we can go through a lot of questions in one go. What about that? Is that does that sound okay with you guys, with everyone? So I hope so. I really hope so. I'm trying my best. I haven't done these in a while. I'm a bit nervous, I can tell you. I'm a bit nervous. I haven't done these live streams, the Deconstruction live streams, in a long time, and I'm so excited about this, that I'm so excited to show you what I've been up to, and that I'm kind of like a bit nervous. I am. So bear with me, okay? Okay. So please bear with me. So this was like in this. We basically at the time, this was done with my students, and we undistorted this thing, and of course my students went in and tracked this entire thing one by one. Like these were all the tracking markers and all this shenanigan. It was all tracked. You can see that some of the trackers are not very good, but it doesn't matter. The shot was delivered, so it doesn't matter. Like it's fine. You're saying that the Coffee UI chat is even more geeky? Yes, I haven't joined that one yet. Okay, so more than playing Silent Hill, that's for sure. So yeah, so this was basically done in sections. Like they tracked it. They used the marker removal to remove some of them. The marker removal kind of did some of the work, which was good. For those of you who don't know, the marker removal is great. It's like a specific node that picks up the tracking markers and picks up the alpha channels, and then it fills the interior of the whole of the alpha channels. At the time, these were the alpha channels, and so as you can see here, they were tracked in, and so they kind of like, it's a really great node. I think the marker removal is a really understated node. It's a really good node that creates some really awesome processing, some automated processing, and so it basically fills it, but it breaks a bit. Like this one is broken, this one is a little bit broken, as you can see. It's like it needs a little blur or something, so it's not completely 100%, but it's okay. It's okay. Come on, it's good enough for you to start at least. And so then you blur the alpha a little bit, and you can kind of get rid of some of it, and then you graded it a little bit, and and did all these things, and you blur again, and then you put the lens distortion back, and okay, and so we are in a good place. And so hours after, this is hours of work, of course, probably several days, they tracked the whole thing, they put all the markers there, they set it up like this, and it looks great. I think they did a good job, and normally this would be the first step to do something like this. Now, at some point, of course, this wasn't enough, and so then came the process of doing one by one, because there was a lot of them that didn't work. So there was, not all of them worked fine with the marker removal. So this was the entire process of doing it one by one. They did one, then they did two, I think it's 7, I believe, 3, and then 4, and then 5. I can't remember. Taking a little bit of time to open them up all. But yeah, you get the picture. So basically, it's getting a bit slow now because I'm opening some of them. You get the picture. You get all the markers. They're all been done. Most of them were done by hand. Some of them were done by frame. And so the whole process of this is the same on all of them. Basically, a frame hold is there. This is one process. Like, there's a lot of ways of doing this paint work, okay? A lot of ways. I just want to let you all know that there's a lot of ways of doing this. So this is not the way that I probably would do it. My student did it this way, but it could have been done in a lot of different ways. And so you frame hold basically, and then you basically roto paint in this case it was this one here, and then basically use a roto to isolate that section, and then basically you grade it and put it a little bit more blurred. You add some grain on top. At the time we used the regrain. I wouldn't use the regrain at the time this time, but at the time, this was years ago, the regrain was probably one of the best ones. Right now, I wouldn't use the regrain to do this, but it doesn't matter. You can do it whatever you want. And then basically you pre-molt, and then you have this. If anything, I would say that to make this more effective, I would have put a crop node here. I would have put a crop node, and I would have basically used the tracking data to crop the bounding box so that we have a faster processing in the comp. It doesn't really matter. This has been delivered. Doesn't matter. Then it gets attached to the tracker, and then it goes in. Bada boom, it's done. So now we have one done. So that's done. And it should hold up for the whole thing. As you can see, it holds up kind of. I mean, it's okay-ish. It's not perfect, but it doesn't really matter. And so after all this process, this was entirely cleaned, and basically what we got was this. So basically, well, I'll give it a second. And so that's basically what we had. And so at some point, this was the result. I need to make sure my caching is on. This was the result, and yeah, and so this is a paint over. Let me just zoom in a bit more. This is what we got. Like, great job, great work. You know, everyone is happy. It's all clean, and now it can move on to the other departments, which was to rotoscope them out and then put the CG out, and the CG, it was done in Arnold at the time, and basically comped it in. And so it was, if you go frame by frame, it's not perfect, but it's okay. I think it's good enough. Sorry, it's just I don't understand why glasses get so dirty all the time. It's a little bit weird. Anyway. Okay, so yeah, so this would be the normal process of doing something like this. I can't remember top of my head how long this took, but it took a while. It was a lot of work, a lot of manual work. Now, let me then demonstrate how this would work in two different ways. So one way is the CopyCat setup, and the other way is the LaMa setup. So let me just, maybe I should show you what the LaMa is. The LaMa is not an animal. It's like not that kind of animal. So if I go to the Cattery, and by the way, the Cattery is an amazing resource of CopyCat setups. Now, not all of them are installed, by the way. So I'm running Nuke 16, and for some reason the Vitmat, the Dep Pro, was not installed. I think maybe that's just a mistake from Foundry, but usually they're all installed. But you can go in and install. You just click on them and you just download them here. The instructions are here. You download the thing. I'll show you the Dep Pro in a second. In a minute. Well, later today. Not right now, but later today. Anyway, so basically the one I was talking about was this one, the LaMa. LaMa or LaMa? I don't know. I have no idea why it's called LaMa. It's a large masking in Paint. So basically it's a tool that supposedly is already been pre-processed, and it's already been pre-calculated, and it's as you can see here and you can read, it's based on a paper by all those people. I'm going to read them all out. I'm going to butcher their names, so they're on the screen. You can check them out there. And so LaMa LaMa would have been a better name. Yes, you're right, Yoshi. LaMa would be a better name. So basically I thought, okay, maybe this will be fine. Maybe this will work fine just out of the blue. And so I went in and I basically did this. So this is the original plate we had, and basically, well, I'll show you. The way that LaMa works is that it needs a mask, a bit similar to what we did before. So it needs the plate, and then it needs masks. And so these are the masks. These are the tracking marks. So basically what I did was I went over and did the tracking of the nodes. I used the same tracking we had before. And so, because it was already done before for this shot, or you don't need, of course, in this situation, I'm showing you a shot that was older, but you would go, basically, you would go in and you would track the whole thing. You would track the whole thing and construct a mask like this. And so, the process was very simple. I undistorted the plate with the lens distortion, track. There's 19 trackers. No, sorry. 20, I don't remember top of my head. A bunch of trackers, a bunch of rotos, they're all attached. Crop them in, undistort them, and that's it. They are all there. And so basically, once I get in here, I don't need to have this crop though. That's a mistake, sorry. So basically undistort them, and it's all here. And now, in terms of the LaMa has not a single, it has nothing. You can't do anything. There's no options, nothing. So, okay, that's fine. So, because it's a pre-processed model. And so I have the render here, so I'll show you the render of what I've done. Because I did this before. So, basically, I rendered them, and it gave me this. So if we wait a second. So, this is basically using a pre-made model from CopyCat automatically and trying to get something to work. And so I rendered this, turns out it looks fine. I mean, obviously keep in mind that maybe you would probably want to consider graining and regrading and denoising, doing all those procedures, which I haven't done yet. I haven't done here. Like I keep saying, this is just a taster for what I've been up with CopyCat. During my course, I will show a lot more. So if you're my student, you'll see more details about this. I can't be here for 8 hours, and so I can't show you everything. I'll show you some stuff, and I'll leave some stuff for the next stream as well. Don't worry. So this was the result. So basically, this was the render that I got. Let's play it back. And so this was automated. The only thing I had to do was like I tracked the markers, and that was it. So LaMa ML, I guess, did the rest of the work. Now, how good was it? I mean, if you look closely, I mean, let's see. It looks pretty good. I think it did a really good job. And it kind of depends on the shots. You know, for example, on this situation, there's really, let's compare it to the result that my students did at the time. So if I go into my result, which was the pre-comp Pint that they've done at the time, and compare it against the LaMa, so God damn it, LaMa. So if I compare the cleanup that they did, and I put a merge node here, and I'm just gonna like compare it with a difference mat here, and so if I just do a difference mat, this is kind of the difference between them, and so this is kind of the difference between them. Not much to go to. I think it did a really good job. I remember when I was watching it, I kind of noticed there was a few problems. I swear to God, I saw some problems, but now I can't see them. So either they've improved them before I opened this, but I now swear to God can't see any issues now. So not entirely sure where I saw the problems, but anyway, I know that this is kind of like for most shots, it works fine. Now, it doesn't work for all shots, and so for example, if I go ahead and let me pick up the other plate. So if I go, for example, here and open up another plate from a different shot, so let's go for, let's see here. So I think I have it up here actually. Where is it? Yeah, so I think I have, that's the original script. That's a pre-comp, and did I not open it? I thought I did. Maybe I didn't. Yeah, you're probably right. I probably didn't. And so, yeah, let me just open up. I think it shot 30. Apologies, everyone. I'm just like talking and doing this live, of course. So you need to kind of like keep that in mind. So let's go in here and go to week 19. Okay, week 19, and this would have been inside painting, and this would have been inside, no, this is the 20. Okay, wait a minute. I need to open the script. Never mind. I'll open the script. It's probably easier so to just open the script. It's just easier that way. I'll just do that. Oh, thank you so much for your kind words, Daniel. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Give it a second. So, okay, so here it is. So what I wanted to show you was this. So this plate here, I think that's the one with the dots, isn't it? Yeah, it is. So not everything works fine. I mean, if I remember when I did it, where was it? It was here. So I did it exactly on this shot as well, so it doesn't work for all shots. You know, just wanted to let you know that you need to temper your expectations of what you can do. Now, this training model, the LaMa, was trained in a lot of different shots, and the training data, all the permissions and all the licensing is all here. You can go and read it. It's all here, and it's supposed to be all ethically trained. And this is a really important thing to keep emphasizing when you're talking about all these things, because I really I'm not interested on using generative AI right now, mainly because generative AI is being trained with illegal data, and I'm just not wanting to be part of it right now. But whenever the data and the sourcing of the data is ethical, like the Foundry is doing, I have no problem like that. So this is, of course, not generative AI. This is machine learning. It's a very different thing, and it's indeed like something that you need to kind of like consider, and it's very different things. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Like I'm just like letting you know that it is it's not the same. Sorry, I see that my stream on Twitch went down. Apologies for that. Not sure why. Let me just do one thing real quick, okay? If you give me just 1 second, I'm just going to try again and see if I can. I think Twitch died, didn't it? Maybe there's still problems from yesterday. I know yesterday there was a massive problem with the internet because of the Amazon servers. Is it back? I think it's back. I think Twitch is back. YouTube never went away. I think YouTube was always here, wasn't it? So I believe YouTube has been fine. I think it was just Twitch that went berserk. Yeah, it's reloaded. It's working now. Okay, great. There was a stutter on YouTube as well. Okay, cool. Yeah, sometimes I know the internet is not completely fine since last time. But yeah, going back to this, I did this shot as well. So I went and did the same thing. Basically, rotoscoped all the nodes and tracked them. You can see them. You can see them here. They're all basically open them all. I'm gonna open them all up and just not have them. Yeah, by mistake I've left this on. Not sure why. But yeah, you can see what I've done here. These are all the rotos, and they're all attached to his face. Now this shot here is a much more difficult shot. And so if you look in here, if you look closely, you can see how much more blur it exists and how much more, difference of yeah, there's so many problems. Okay, so there was some. Oh, I can see, Yoshi. There was some black frames every couple of minutes. Oh, okay. Apologies for that. I'm not sure what that was. I think it did stop now. Could be that my stream just bugged off as well. But if it comes back, let me know. Do apologize, everyone, for that. And so this is a much more tricky shot because as compared to as this one, like this is a super simple shot because if you look back, she hardly moves, and so she kind of like opens the mouth, but it's not a big deal. It's a really simple shot actually. Now on this one, he moves sideways. His expression, there's a lot of blur. His face goes berserk, and so let's try the LaMa on this one. So I did all the rotos, and I then attached it to the LaMa. And then I did a render. I already pre-rendered. This is quite heavy on the GPU, and so when you're running something like this, you see the GPU goes all bananas, and the CPU goes all bananas as well. And so you just need to be careful that it takes a long time for it to even process. And this is not even. It's only 2K. It's not even HD. It's a really heavy shot. And so it looks fine from this distance, but I'll show you in a second. And so if I press play, for example, you'll see. I'll show you here. You see. Basically, for some reason, I need to talk with the Foundry about this because I noticed that sometimes some of the copycat nodes are really pushing my CPU and some copycat nodes are pushing my GPU. For some reason, LaMa is not pushing GPU at all. You see here? The GPUs are completely hidden. They're not even doing anything, 1%, 2%, and then my CPU is going completely bananas with the processing of this thing. And so I need to ask the Foundry because as you can see here, the GPU is on, and this is not ticked off, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. I need to check with them and see what happens. As opposed to if I go to CopyCat, if I, for example, go in here and watch some of the inferences of CopyCat, which is this one, which I'll do in a second. And if I play this, then you can kind of actually see that the GPU then is used. You see here? Using 49% of my GPU. It doesn't pick up the second GPU for some reason. That I don't know why. So again, I need to talk with the Foundry about this. Why it's not picking up the two GPUs. It's only picking up one of the GPUs. So although they are both on. So these are little things that I need to kind of work out with them. I'm assuming that maybe, Yoshi, I'm sure I have enough VRAM. I have 32 gigs of VRAM on each card. I mean, it should be enough for a shot like this. And so, but I need to talk to them and see. It could also, keep in mind, there could also be a limitation on the Mac. Like the Mac has a lot of limitations, and you guys don't forget that I'm running an Intel Mac. I'm running a Mac Pro 2019. So this is not an M1 or M2 or M3. I'm running like an Intel Mac. So it's a different conversation, and it's also AMD. It's not NVIDIA. So it could be like that it's maybe faster on an NVIDIA card. And in fact, I now have a machine with an NVIDIA card, so I'm doing a lot of tests. And so I'll show this in the future on the stream, and I'll show it on my course on my students. But I got a Dell laptop, and that Dell laptop has a NVIDIA RTX, and so I'm gonna see how that goes with that one. But I do think that it is more optimized for NVIDIA anyway. So, but you guys know me. I run Macs and Linuxes. I'm like I'm a bit like that. Anyway, let's have a look. I did 2 versions. First version failed miserably, and so that was because I basically used LaMa, and I'll show you what I mean with failed miserably. Just look at his nose. And so it's flickering, has all sorts of problems. It's flickering quite a lot. I'll just wait for it to load, and you'll see exactly what I mean. And so this was the first version where I had the rotos. They weren't big enough to cover all the things, and the rotos weren't really completely tracked properly, and so the nose is just going berserk. It's like it's like completely looks like look at that. It just goes nuts on the nose. Everything else is fine though. Like although not all of it. Like if you look closely here on the forehead, there's like some flickering, especially if I go frame by frame here. It's like you see there's some problems here with noise, and there's some problems with flickering. But everything else, man, Jesus, it's for an automatic thing with just tracking, just look at the rest. Like, the rest is really good. So I could live with this, I could live with this. I mean, it's like, I could use that and then comp in the original, I could comp in this section and paint, it's almost like all of this is all fine, just the middle is not working. And so I could do this by hand, just these 2. And so now, just by using the LaMa, like you can see that I'm already only tracking and cleaning up 2 dots instead of I don't know how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So it's 19 20. 20 dots versus 2. So this is already kind of like a lot of work is saved here. But we can get it better. Like, that's the thing. We can get this much better. And also to a point that I'll get back to this in a second. So I'm going to go back to this one here. So as I said, this entire thing works really well for this shot. So let's talk about the fact that what happens if I have other takes. And so let's just go and get the other takes. I have and by the way, this is the original comp, by the way. This is the original composite done at the time for the entire tracking. So I have it on the side here. So the other where did I put linear? Oh, sorry, apologies for this. I'm just like trying to find. Did I forget to bring that over? Maybe I did. I think I need to like bring that over. I need to like bring over the footage of the other take. Yes, there it is. That's the one. So this is what I wanted to show you. So basically, we have this other take. And not this other take. This is the entire take, by the way. So what I brought here is this is the whole thing. So basically, the entire thing. And so, she does multiple takes. She's like moving around, walking around, this is all the entire take, and where she does mistakes and she like fumbles the lines, and this is the whole thing that we did at the time. And so what I'm trying to show you this is that the cool thing about all of this is that you can do all this processing, and then you could theoretically apply it to other shots, which is the cool part of all of this. And so theoretically you could align it to this shot. But what happens if I do that? It's not really possible, because I would have to track every single dot. I would have to go through, this is 3,000 frames long. I would have to, like, because you saw the LaMA requires you to track it. You need to kind of have masks for things. And so it would be a lot of work. What if I can do a better job? Because obviously the training data, what if I could do this without tracking at all? Let's consider that for a moment. And that's where CopyCat comes through. And so the whole way of doing this, the methodology that I went through here, would be a dual methodology. So this is how a CopyCat node, some of you on the chat already probably used CopyCat before already. So, you know, like you probably already know this. It's fine. I'm not going to do the whole thing again because I can't really process it anymore. And also I'm not going to paint it because I already have a painted version. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend that I've painted this. You know, let's pretend for a moment that I only did 3 frames of painting. So let's pretend that I did frame number 1, and that I did frame number 14, and I did frame number 33. So, and the choice of these frames is really important because, and so keep that in mind. I'm doing a frame hold here because I'm not going to paint, this is not a painting tutorial, so I'm not going to go in and paint all of this, but you understand exactly what I mean. Like you would basically go in here and put a roto paint, you know, it's a simple enough thing to do. You would put a roto paint here, you know, just gonna like separate it here. You would basically go in here, roto paint here. So sorry, it's not this one. It's that one. So you basically would go here. Let's say go frame 1. You would the whole process would be the normal process, but it would be just for 3 frames. So 3 or 4, it depends. And so now I would go in here, would use a clone. You can do this in Photoshop as well. You don't need to do it inside of Nuke, by the way. You could do it in Photoshop. It's not completely necessary for you to do it here. But, you know, you would, you know, go in here and just focus your attention on getting a really good cleanup for that shot. And so clean that one up, and then you would clean this one up. I mean, I'm doing this really quickly, but, you know, you would clean them all up. You would do a good job, not a bad job, not a botched job like I'm doing. So you would go in and do this entire frame, either here, or you would do it in Photoshop. You know, could have done it in because this is a Foundry stream, you would do it in Nuke. But, you know, you get my picture. You basically would do a good job there, and you would roto. Because this is not a tutorial where I'm going to paint everything, I already have a painted version because this shot was done already. And so let's pretend that I have a frame hold of 1, 14, and 33. These would be the 3 frames. And why did I pick these frames? Well, when you look at her, this is one good frame to pick because this is a regular face that she has. And then she opens the mouth. That's like a very different kind of frame because the mouth is stretched, her mouth opens, her expression is much more laughable, it's like much more engaging, and then at some point she moves to the side and becomes quite blurry, so she's now motion blurred as well. So whenever considering frames that you want to use to process in CopyCat, you want to consider difference of movement, you want to consider lighting changes, you want to consider motion blur changes, you want to consider depth of field changes, you want to consider anything that makes a completely different version of what you had. And so in this case, I believe that 3 frames would probably be enough for you to consider a shot that only has 49 frames anyway. And so, which would be the static non-blurred version, which would be 1. Then we would have, I think it was, what was the number? 14. So frame 14 would be, so yeah, so frame 1 would be mouth, completely in focus, normal mouth. Frame 14 would be open mouth, very different from the first frame. And then frame 33 would be basically motion blur to the side with the mouth closing in a different way from the first mouth. So now we have 3 frames. And so what I would ask you would be, paint these 3 frames, and basically would be in this side, sorry. Paint this frame, paint this frame, paint this frame. The 3 frames would be the only 3 frames that you would paint. You would not track them. You would paint them by hand. You could use any other painting tool, anything. Or you can use Nuke, of course. And so you can bring them in. Now, consider also one thing I did do here, which is an advice from the Foundry. I did clamp the plate. The reason I clamped the plate is because normally, as I tested this quite a lot, normally basically with clamp data over 1 or minus 0, it usually goes berserk on CopyCat. And so you need to be careful with the data. There's no problem with bringing the data after. So after the comp is done, after the processing is done, you can always, either LaMa key the dynamic range back, or you can key it back, or you can use the merge node operation to bring back the dynamic range again to the plate. But while you're processing it inside a CopyCat, it is important for you to maybe consider having it 1 to 0. You could have above 1, as they explain on their masterclass from the Foundry, but it's better for you to not go very much beyond 1. I think on the masterclass they talk about 1.1 or something like that. Anyway, these are the 3 frames, and so basically what I did here is I frame hold on those frames, and then I would do a time clip. The reason I do a time clip is because I want them to stay inside 1-on-1, so I want them just to be in 1 frame. And then I have an append clips. Now the append clip is to append them on frames. And so if I go to frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, frame 4, so there's only those frames. Those are only those frames. Now, as you notice, I also have a crop node here. And this is really, the more data you give to CopyCat, the better. So I'm giving CopyCat the idea that this is the whole frame we have. This is the mouth when it's open. This is the mouth like looking. The open mouth, moving with motion blur, and then the cropped version. The cropped version, it's a bit of a test and trial thing. You can either crop all the frames or you can crop some of them, but the whole idea is to give the machine learning some data and context that you only want to do things inside this crop box, but you still should have the rest of the crop box. You should still have the rest of the frame, because CopyCat also needs to know that it shouldn't change the rest. And so it's important for you to have a mixture of cropped frames and a mixture of full frames inside your data. And so this is the cleaned version. So this is what we call the input, which is what we want to change. And on this side, that's the painted version only on those 3 frames. And so as you can see here, these are the 3 frames, the 4 frames that have been painted. Only these frames. So I'm only giving CopyCat these frames, nothing else. And so, yeah, you shouldn't crop the whole thing, Yoshi, because if you crop the whole thing, CopyCat doesn't know what exists the rest of the shot. And so it's almost like, not that it happens on this shot, but imagine that there's a traffic sign here. And imagine that the traffic sign also has a black dot somewhere. And so if you're cropping that, what we will do is you will paint that dot because he thinks it's a marker. And so you need to also give it context of where not to do things and what to focus on. Now, how many crop nodes you need and how many you don't need, it's a bit unclear. I tell you, guys, I watched all the masterclasses from the Foundry. I read all the documentation just so you don't have to. And I cannot find an answer how many I need to crop. So I need to ask the engineers at the Foundry. I have no idea. So this is a trial and error thing. I can tell you that already. This is definitely a trial and error thing. And to a point that I'll show you. I did, how many inferences that I did? Let's have a look. Well, I only have one here, but I know why, because I've now switched, but I'll go to the folder and I'll show you. So I processed this multiple times. And so when I go in here, you see, I processed this one time. Let's see here. One time, and then I processed, how many times? Baby, this was on 120. So I processed it. Let's look at the dates here. So 25/10, 25/10. I think I processed it 4 or 5 times. Should have made a note. I made recordings of it. So I have that somewhere. But at top of my head, I can't remember how many times I processed this thing. Because, of course, it was a trial and error. So sometimes I was considering how many crops we need, how many crops we don't need. I have made a record. So I've recorded all the processing of this. Let me just double check here. Where is it? I don't think I've recorded all of them, but so this was one of the first recordings I made where I was painting things and then I was adding them, and this was one processing, and then I had another processing here. And so I added them on as well, the markers, and then this was what I did before, which is what I was telling you, that this will be part of my course. So I've been recording a bunch of stuff. So where is it? Where is it? Can't remember where it is now. Maybe I didn't record that specific one. As you can see, I recorded this one. Doesn't really matter. I did it a bunch of times, okay? Trust me on this. I don't need to like look into this now. Anyway, basically what you need to do is always process in two parts. So we have basically the raw plate with no treatment whatsoever, with my frame holds and my appends, and then I have a exact copy on this side. And this is the painted version, okay? So this would be the painted frames that we have. And I've also put a remove. It's very important for you to consider that it's better for you to just have RGB. And at least for what I'm doing here, you don't want to have any stray masks anywhere or other layers. You want to be careful with that. And so I usually just put a remove so that I'm sure there's no other channels there to consider, and and that's it. And then inside CopyCat, basically these are the settings I've used. And so I've opened up this. There is no initial weight because there is no model for this. Like, there's only models for deblurring, upscaling, and matting. There's no model for painting yet. I'm assuming it will be at some point. But you could have a model trained somewhere else and then bring in a checkpoint, which would be another model. I did start with 10,000, which I think is the default, and I use the large model. I usually, for something in painting, I use large because as the Foundry explains on the documentation, small is really good for really tiny things, and then large is for larger blocks of pixels. And so I'm using large. The crop size is kind of, I didn't really change it but you need to be careful. If this crop is very small, you need to be careful so that the crop size is not smaller than this crop. It will give you a warning anyway, if it is a problem. And so when I started, I did 10,000, and of course this was already processed. As you can see, the whole objective is to have this curve going lower and lower and lower and lower and lower until it's as close to zero as possible. Once it's close to zero, as you can see, I went to 30,000. That's where I went. Okay, so CopyCat, and then basically I'm not going to start the training, I'm going to resume. You could start and finish and start and finish. So if you press start, it starts the training. Resuming it will just continue the training with the epochs. And the epochs, basically, I'll do resume training so I can show you. And then you understand better if you look at it. Yeah, so these are basically a little previewing of what you're doing, and these have to do with the epochs. Basically, the epochs is the amount of times he's going to look at those frames and try to compare them to make them as perfect as possible. If you just give it a second, it will it's not showing. Oh yeah, there you go. I'm going to put this in process. It's important also to put log scale, so if you don't have log scale, this will be what will happen. You see, you can't even see the curve. So you want to put this in log scale so you can actually see the curve. And basically and now it's really processing, and that's why I'm streaming it on the machine. As you can see here, my GPU is already at 30%. It's going to go more and more and more. It's going to become heavier and heavier and heavier. I do have 2 GPUs, so it is a possibility for you to have one CopyCat being processed by one GPU and have another node, another script processing another CopyCat. And so the epochs, you need to be careful because putting more doesn't mean it's going to work better. It doesn't. You have to find a position there that will work. I started with 10,000, it didn't really work, then I went to 20,000, didn't really work, then I went to 30,000. I believe this took like 7 hours or something like that to process. And so basically what you see here is the different crops that he randomly picks in the image. And so this is the input, this is what I told him to do, and this is the result. Of course, this has already been processed. So of course he's already done it. So he's not going to do it again. But I'm going to cancel this real quick. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another folder. So basically this folder, the directory of the data that you're training, is where you want the data to be stored. Whatever data is in here will show up as a different curve. So you need to be careful to make sure you have different folders. And so right now I'm going to actually make a different folder just for this one, just for the stream. So that I can show you what I mean. So I can start this. So this will be a temp one. So this will be just a temp one. And I'm going to set it to this one. So now there's no curve because I've started over from the beginning. And so I'm not going to start, I'm going to just put 10,000 and I'm going to start training. So this is now a training from scratch. I just wanted to show you the beginning of a training, you know. Yeah, it took 7 hours, Daniel. Yes, but, you know, I don't mind. I left it overnight. It's not a problem. And I just left it over. I don't think it probably wasn't 7 nights. I think 7 hours was the other guy. I think this was like 5 hours or something. It's 7 hours. That's what I was telling you. You need to machine learning, and you see here, you see how bad it is right now. So this makes no sense. It's just starting from scratch. So this is, you see the dot is still there. The dot is still there. It's still processing and processing and processing. So apologies, I need to like blow my nose. Sorry. Apologies. Yeah, so the thing that you need to consider, what I was saying in the beginning, machine learning inside of Nuke and CopyCat is really all about you making correct choices. And so you saw I picked the correct frames for him to train. And the correct frames were different frames in the footage. In this case, it was only 3 of them plus a cropped one. So it was 4 things that I gave him to train. And yes, it takes a long time. It took 7 hours because I did 50,000. I ended up only doing 30,000. But you need to, maybe it was less. Let me just double check the time. I'll check the time because I don't want to be like telling you the time and then it wasn't that one. I'm just gonna tell you exactly how much time it took. Although I paused several times, so it might not be the correct amount of time. So let's see here. So it was. Yeah, so it finished. Yeah, so it started. It started at 5 o'clock in the morning, and it finished at 5 o'clock. So it finished at 9. Then I opened up it again, so it finished at 10. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it took 5 hours. Basically, it was a 5-hour process. Yeah, so it wasn't 7, it was 5. So this entire thing took 5 hours to process, and so that's why I'm not doing it on stream. Now. Not only you need to pick the best frames to paint, but you need to also consider how much time it will do to train. Now, at any moment, you can stop the training, test your inference, and then resume training. Right now, of course, I don't need to do that because I can clearly see nothing is happening. You can clearly see it's still all the dots are there. But as soon as you start seeing some dots disappear, then you can maybe consider testing your inference and see how it's working and how it looks. Now, because it takes 5 hours, it's also considering the computer you have, the graphic card you have, and how long you have to do this processing. And so right now, you know, 5 hours is something you would leave overnight. So basically, you need to just like make sure you are organized, and so you're doing your work, and then you leave the machine overnight doing it. And so you could just go and have dinner, or you could go and watch a TV show, and then you can come back 5 hours later. I don't believe it's using both GPUs. No, Yoshi. That's the thing I need to talk with the foundry, because you see here, it's only using one of them. So my second GPU is not even being touched. And I don't know why. I'm not entirely sure why only one of the GPUs is picking up, although I have them both on. So this is something I need to like discuss with the foundry to see if it's a limitation on my MacBook, my Mac Pro, Intel Mac Pro, if it's a limit, and I will test this on my laptop, and so I'll let you know all, but it doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't, for me, I don't think it matters how long it takes. It's a matter of you organizing your time. You know, as long as you can organize your time so that you know, okay, I'm going to do this now, and I know this is going to take this amount of time, and so I know I need to like give it some time. You know, I think this is what you need to kind of consider, is organize your time around it. So as you can see, 10,000 epochs is taking 1 hour and 46 minutes now. You can look at the timer there. And you still haven't seen anything yet running here. So, because of course, it hasn't painted anything yet. And yes, you can train remotely for sure. You can do that later. I'm going to cancel this because there's no point of me doing that. Once you've done that processing, you can just create inference. And that's what I've done here. So this is the original plate, and this is the node that it created at the time. And this was the 30,000 epoch node that I created that took 5 hours. And so now, as you can see, it cleaned it up. It's going to take a while. So this is a GPU intensive thing. So if I play it back, you see it takes a long time to process, you see? It takes a long time to process. And the reason why it's taking so long to process is because it's using my GPU. Still only using one of the GPUs though. So the more I'm looking at this, storage size, well, that's a great question, Thomas. Actually, I'll let you know. So that entire thing, let's see here. So that would have been this one. That entire thing was 2 gigs. So basically, that entire training setup was 2 gigs. So it wasn't too bad. I mean, it's okay, I think. Now, I've rendered this already, so you don't have to wait. And so this is the version already pre-rendered of the inference. So this is the cleanup that I have now. And so you're probably wondering to yourself, like, oh, but the LaMa was already working fine. Why did you do this? Well, consider this. This is now perfect. There's no, like, I can go frame by frame. I've checked, okay? I went frame by frame. It looks perfect. Now, it's not even a single frame that doesn't look. I'm going frame by frame. I've zoomed in 300. Okay, let's zoom in 250 so we can see the whole face. You guys can tell me this looks perfect. The difference with the LaMa is that I had to track in Roto. This I had to do nothing. I didn't do at all. The only thing I had to do was to paint 3 frames. That was it. So, because it's such a simple shot. So I had to paint 3 frames. I would maybe say that it take me like an hour to paint those frames. Then I did an extra crop, which was the 4th thing I gave to CopyCat. And then I processed it for 5 hours. And remember, you have 2 GPUs you can process on the same machine and still work. Because I have 2 GPUs and you can see that one of the GPUs is not even being used, that really means that I can definitely use another Nuke. But if you have 2 machines, then you can leave this going and have another machine just for that. You can even have a machine dedicated just for machine learning. Now, I didn't do that. I left it overnight because I like to sleep. And so I think I went and watched the Peacemaker. I went to watch the TV show, while I was waiting for this. And then I would come in and check. And basically, you really need to. That's why I didn't do 50,000 because I don't even think I needed 30,000. I think this, because I was sleeping, I think at some point probably maybe 20,000 would have been enough, but I didn't really test it that time. But at any moment you can stop and resume. Stop and resume. But let me show you what's even better than this. Look at this. Let me pick up that other take. So this was the other take, okay? So this is the other shot. Remember I told you that I had like the full take here. So I'm just going to put in input this, and this is all the take of her talking. So let's just go to a moment where she's doing something. Okay, so let's say here. I'm going to pick up the same inference and just see. And as you can see, the inference that I built already kind of works on this shot. It doesn't do all of them. It failed on that one. The reason it failed on that one was because that one was covered on the hair here. So that tracking marker was not part of my dataset when I did this CopyCat. And of course, the inference doesn't know what to do with it. The same way that this tracking marker is covered by the hair. So there's 2 tracking markers covered by the hair here. And they were never part... Yeah, Peacemaker, yes. Peacemaker is great, man. So those 2 tracking markers were never part of the set. They were never part of my data set. And so, of course, they won't be clean. He doesn't know what to do with them. But the rest, it's kind of good as well. And this is a different take. Obviously, you would have to bring this into the data set and train on this shot. But as you can see, this is automatically being clean by this. Let me just open this up a bit more. I shouldn't have done that. Wait a minute. Let me just not have this full frame processing. Otherwise, we're never going to leave here. So I'm just going to go back here. Now, I haven't tested this entire thing. It takes a bit of time to load. So I'm gonna maybe I should render it during the break. Maybe I should do that. Well, let me just find the. This is the entire thing, remember? So I'm gonna just find a curving here. So I'm gonna use it from here to here, or maybe and then she goes away. And so I'm gonna close that. So that's gonna be what I'm gonna train, and not train. So I'm gonna check. So yes, I should have added those markers onto the training, but remember, Yoshi, I could just add a frame. Yes, I could. But remember, this is a different take. And so only if the director decides to change the take, then I can come in. As you can see, it doesn't work here because she's turning around. And we never had any data for the turning around. But notice how it cleans it up quite nicely as soon as he's facing the camera. And so this is now running my inference that I trained before. It's running directly on my machine now and playing it back. And you can see it cleaned almost the whole face automatically because I already had that setup done. Now it breaks on the dots that weren't there. And then I think it's going to break when she leaves. Probably going to break. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's already breaking on the nose. Yeah, it broke completely because there was never... Remember that my data never had so much blur. But it is possible to do this. Like, you could go in here. Let's show you what I mean. You could go in here and actually fake that if you wanted to. Let's say that we do, not that I can show you, maybe next time, I guess I need to process this for hours. But you know, I could have done this. I could have used a motion blur node. Let's say we put a directional blur here and we could fake a directional blur. And so let's say that, well, sorry, I have this thing is wrong now. It's the wrong data. I need to like go in here to global again. Apologies, I had this on in and out. And so let's say that now we do blur, and I'm gonna do, where's the, no, directional. So this would be linear blur, and its blur center would be, oh, how the hell did they change this node? Is this node not working anymore? I'm a bit confused about this node now. Blur angle 45 samples. Oh, okay, sorry. I didn't have enough blur. So you could fake it. You know, I could like fake the directional blur that I have, which would be like this. It's a bit too much though. So I could construct a fake frame with motion blur for the data to know how a motion blur frame would be. That would be possible for me to put it onto this data set by just using like this. The same way you can scale it, you can color correct it, you can do a bunch of things to improve your data set. Or like Yoshi is saying, you could also, of course, go back and just use these shots. You know, like it is also possible for you to just basically use frames from here. You know, that would also work. Now, it's not going to work the whole time. No, it's not. But it's going to work most of the time. This is what I wanted to show you, how automated this is. I did not track anything, and I didn't need to paint any more frames. And the system is already kind of working well in here. Already kind of well. Let me show you one more thing, and then we'll do a break. Okay? So I'm going to do a quick break. It's still a great result. Yes, absolutely. So now let me show you the other shot. So if I go back and I'm going to show you, I'm going to bring in this inference. So I'm going to pick up this inference that I've made on this data set. And I'm going to go into this shot here, this shot, and use that inference here. So this is the data set for for this shot. And so that's the shot of the other guy. So this was a different actor. And let's see what happens. If I use the same inference that was calculated with the lady, what would it do to this dude here? So if I plug it in, and so as you can see, it's not bad. I mean, it already cleaned some of them. Didn't clean all of them because, of course, he doesn't know what to do with this one, the big one. He doesn't know what to do with the nose one. He doesn't know what to do with these really, really light ones. These are very subtle, and they're too subtle for the data set to understand. And so the data set that I did before doesn't know what to do with the markers, but it already kind of cleaned some of them, which is really remarkable. Now, for this one, I did a very different thing. So let's show you. I had to use a lot more data set. And remember, I showed you before that it broke with LaMA. It broke. It gave me these camel nose of some kind. And in fact, the first one was flickering a lot. And then I did the second one, and it was a bit better. So it kind of like... But the nose was still flickering. So I'm going to just play this back and show you. It's a really great question. Thomas is on YouTube asking... I'm going to take the opportunity for this is playing to answer your question, Thomas. Do you think CopyCat is something you would only use when you actually have the time for it? Because if you're in a tight deadline, waiting 5 hours for a train might not be the best option. Well, Thomas, I would tell you this. I think that, yes, if you only have an hour, there's no way this is going to work. Of course not. But if you only have an hour, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing this? Because it's never going to work on an hour anyway. So I would say that the best setup would be to have 2 machines. I think that's the best setup. The best setup would be to have 1 machine to paint things. And you can use Photoshop, you can use Nuke, you can use whatever application you want to paint. And then you would use a second machine, a really powerful machine with a GPU, to train the data. And you probably could cut it down to an hour or 2. It's like I said, it took me 5 hours, but it probably only took 3 because I was sleeping, remember? So at some point, the painting probably was already good, and I didn't finish the training set. I could have cut it closer. So I would say that maybe if you only have an hour, the LaMA probably is going to be fine if the client is happy with it. So I do think the overnight thing is fine, and because remember, you saw what I did here. I used the same inference for other takes as well. And so you could potentially say to your client, okay, I need a day. I need a night. So basically, you train your data set overnight the whole time, and you get better and better at this training set data. The more you try this, the more you get the hang of it. And so you train and train and train overnight, and then the next day you can do 5 shots. Because if the training data is correct, then you can do the whole take. The entire 5, 6, 7 takes. The same way that we can do it on this shot here. So this training data is a bit different. So I had to have, because he moves so much, I had to do a different data. So basically because, you know, his face is moving all the time. He has a lot of different expressions. And so I had to do basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frames that I painted, and then the rest is repetition with the crop. That's it. There's only repetition in the crop. So it's not like you can it's not like, and I'm going to show you the same process as well. I already have the painted version, so there's no point of me painting it in front of you. So I already have the painted version. So I chose frame 1 because it was frame 1, so that's why I chose it. Chose frame 14 because it's blurred and he's moving down. Then I chose frame 47 because he's looking to the side. Frame 60 because he opens the mouth. Frame 76 because he puts his eyes closed. And then from there, I did frame 92 because he moves the mouth, closes his mouth for the first time. And then frame 101 because he's slightly opening his mouth. And then the rest is just the same frames with the crop. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frames that I would have to paint. So I painted all these frames, let's assume. So maybe an hour or 2 and it's all painted, I think. It would be like that. You could generate it in Photoshop for sure. Just need to be careful with the aces and all the color space, of course. And so, apologies. It is pretty tough to do a stream when you have a cold. But I'm trying my best. I'm trying. Okay, so I promise you guys I'll get to the questions, okay? I promise you. We're almost done with this thing. I still have so much more to show you, which I'm already kind of assuming that I'm just going to show you the next time because well, we still have time. We still have time. We'd have probably an hour or so. I'll get to this in a second. Okay, so once I did this is the frames that I picked. I'll show you the append clips here. So basically, these are the frames I picked, and then I have the crop versions of them. Now, notice how the crops are just the places where the dots are, just so that he knows where the dots are. That's where I did the crops. And then I did an overexposed version and a zoomed version, just to give the data different things. You know, it's always best to give more data into it. I guess it's all about organizing yourself and how much time you have. The process was the same. I clamped it, cropped it, and basically, I had to crop because for some reason my students painted with the bounding box. Look at that. So I had to crop it because the bounding box was wrong. My students should know better. Anyway, so basically what I did was I did a complete replica. So one side is the clean version and the other side is so basically the clean version goes to the ground truth. The input, the non-clean version goes to the input. The ground truth is the painted version. Like I said, it was only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frames. And so then I process it. As you can see, these are the 4 inferences that I did. 3 inferences. And so if I open this up, I'll show you. And I think I went to 70,000 on this one, but I didn't do 70,000. I only did 47,000. So I stopped at 47. And so you can resume at any time. If you have more time, like if you have the weekend, you can resume. But of course, consider the power that this takes. You know, like at the moment, right now, processing this thing. And remember, this machine is not streaming. I have a separate machine. I have my Mac Pro trash bin streaming right now. So it's just waiting for it to cache. Just give it a second. So this is he's now going to continue the caching. Give me a second. So it's going to continue from 47,000 onwards. I stopped at 47. I think that's when I woke up and I thought this was fine. And you can kind of see if I zoom in. It's a bit slow. Sorry. Just give it a second. You can see if I zoom in. You see this is the original. That's what I painted. This is what he's doing. So you can kind of see it's already done. That's why I stopped. And I'm assuming this probably would have been done at 30,000 or 20. I don't know. There's no set number. It depends on what you're doing, of course. Because he's looking at this frame, using your ground truth, and then trying to paint it. Now, in terms of power usage, notice the power usage. Now, right now, we have... Basically, I have 1 GPU running only. And right now I'm running 470 watts on this machine. So that's what this machine is right now running. Total power, 470 watts. There was a peak of 600 watts at some point. But my machine can go all the way to 1,200 watts. I have never really reached that phase. Sorry. Drop my Wacom tablet. So it's not too bad. I mean, I'm running 400 watts. I mean... How much is in it? I don't know. Like, I don't think it's that bad. It's a 28-core machine with 2 graphic cards, 400 watts. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not sure. I think if you're playing a game, you're probably gonna run more. if you're like playing Call of Duty, or if you're playing Call of Duty at 120 frames per second, or if you're playing like, I don't think it's that much. Yeah, I know you guys are saying damn and insane, but think about it. If you're gonna play a video game. If you play like an hour of Call of Duty at 120 frames per second with an NVIDIA RTX, you're probably going to have more watts than that. So that's what I assume, you know. Am I wrong? I mean, I know games use a lot of power. So anyway, the power consumption is always going to be a problem, of course. I know that. It's always going to be an issue. And there is a fine line. There is definitely a fine line between how much time you have, how much time you want to give to this, and how much power you want to give this. So there is a thin line between, okay, can I do this in 5 hours? Maybe I can. Or, because remember, my machine, when it's not processing, is like 200 watts. So even just by being on, it's 200 watts. And so that means this entire processing is only really doing another additional 300 watts on top. So that's what you need to consider. It's almost like, if I can do it in 5 hours, then I do it in 5 hours. If I can't do it in 5 hours, then maybe I do machine learning. And if I have enough power, then I can do it with enough power. Yes, it would. A Mac Pro MP4, a Mac Pro M4 would fix that. Of course it would, Robbie. But I'm not going to buy a Mac Pro M4 because I'm very happy with this machine. I only buy machines every 8-10 years, every 8 to 10 years. The reason for that is because this machine runs 4K, it does HDR, it edits in real time. I have no problems with this machine. This machine is incredibly quick and incredibly fast. So I don't need a new machine right now, and I definitely don't want to spend £10,000 on a new Mac Pro if I don't have to. So, but consider also that you could have old machines with some really powerful graphic cards on the background to process this. That's what I'm considering. Maybe I'm considering buying a small little PC tower with an RTX in, and that could be my processing, machine learning processing computing. But that machine is also going to take a lot of power. Anyway, let's stop this. I don't need to go through this now because I've done this before. I don't need to do more inference. I need to be better at this. When I do the course, when I do the classes for my students, I need to time all the processing, and I need to really see and really check if I can stop at 20 or if I can stop at 30. I need to I need to check this. Yeah. Anyway, I have the inferences. So this was the first one that I did. And so I think this one was the first version I did. Did I render this? Oh, I forgot to render it. Oh, sorry, apologies for that. It doesn't matter. So the first version didn't really work, as you can see. It worked fine, minus the dot on the forehead. So it worked really well. And you can see this was only 10,000 epochs, I believe. You can kind of still see the dots. You can see the dots especially when it's motion blurred. So when this happened, this was the first training that I did. I started thinking I need to give him more reference of motion blurred stuff. So I need to give him more motion blur data for him to process. And so then I went to the second inference, and so this was a test. Like I said, I'm on the testing phase of CopyCat. And so then I did this one here, and it was better. And you can see here it's a bit better, and in here it's a bit better, but not perfect. Let's have a look at the motion blur section. So if I go here, when it's really motion blurred, that's the first inference, that's the second inference. And you see, by giving him frames of the motion blur, it's already getting a much better. Now, I haven't finished this, but the third inference is the best one so far. And so this one is actually the one I've done so far. And how much was it? It was, so far I'm at 47 epochs. So at 47 epochs, that's where I am right now. This is the quality I have right now. So far, it's almost perfect. It has a few issues. There was a little dot that showed up here, which I could paint. I mean, I could go in here and let's just go frame by frame. I mean, that is very much paintable. What's there, which is a little dot there. And so, and in here, so it's it's not there, and then it's here, and then it's here, and then it's gone again. So there's two frames. So there is an opportunity here that I could still paint. And this is also one I wanted to tell you all, is that definitely you still need to have quite a good painting skill. This is actually just to respond to Claudia, because Claudia was talking to me. I don't know if she's still here, but Claudia from Scape Studios was talking to me about the notion that people sometimes think they don't need to paint or to clean up anymore. This definitely means the opposite, because as you can see here, the data set is always not perfect, and you need to feed it correct painting data set. For you to feed him correct data painting set, you need to know how to paint and know how to roto and know how to do cleanup. And so, of course, you're only doing one frame, but you still need to know how to do it. And if you need to fix it on top, then you need to know how to paint. So for me, whenever students ask, oh, do I still need to paint and I still need to roto? Yes, you do, because you will need to fix what the machine learning couldn't do. That is, you're still here, Claudia, okay. That is the main thing you need to really understand. All of your skill sets of painting and roto will be, I believe, even more necessary. Because if you had a shot like this, you could have put it onto the data set, you could have painted one take, 3 frames or 4 or 6 frames, still need to know how to paint correctly, And then you could paint another shot as well and add it to the data set. And then, as you can see, this is now good. So, and once the data set is done, you can still paint over any remaining problems that might still be there. And so, what happened now, and this is the advice I'm going to give to everyone on this chat, is that you're not going to be replaced for Roto painting. What's going to happen with this system is that instead of just taking one shot, this shot originally was done by one of my students. One student did this shot. I can't remember how long it took, but probably was several days, maybe 3-4 days. What I'm telling you all is that you can now do 7, 8, 10 shots with one system. So that means that a single artist that knows how to paint in Roto, instead of doing one shot with CopyCat, one shot by the traditional method, with CopyCat you can do 10 shots on the same amount of time. But you still will need to paint the data in. And that is why there is no magic button. Just like Claudia is saying on the chat here, there is no magic button. The machine learning is only as good as the data you gave it. And as you can see, it looks pretty good. And if I go frame by frame, I mean, I would be happy to present this to my clients. I don't believe they would. Obviously, we still would have to consider the graining and the grain methodology. I would have to remove the grain and put the grain back, but I would definitely still present this to my client. Here's the best part. Look at this. So this is another take for another shot. Can it pick up this one? So let's have a look at this one. This is a more far away image. I didn't train the data set to a far away person. And I did not train the data set to be small, and I did not train the data set for the head to tilt so much up. So most likely I will have to train that. But let's have a look at what it does if I just apply the same data set I did on this CopyCat to this take, which is a different take. See what happens. And as you can see, it actually still worked. Does it work the whole shot? Let's find out. So this is the data set I did from the other take into this take. The data set that took me 70 epochs. Sorry. No, not 7. I don't want to be lying. Sorry. I'm terrible with numbers. So it was 47,000 epochs, which you see that goes up. I think I probably could have done it before. Because you see it's quite stable. You want this to be as stable as possible. I would say that maybe by 35, 40,000 is already stable. So I did this processing, which was like 5 or 6 hours, and I painted all those frames. And so I painted 7 frames. And now I'm applying the same exact thing to other takes. So let's imagine that we have 10 takes. Let's just have a look at how let's zoom in, really zoom in and really see how good this looks. And if you just give me a second. And now we wait. We're going to do a break very soon because we've been running almost 2 hours. I need to stretch my legs. I need to go to the loo. And then we'll continue because I still have to do all the rotoscoping side, which I want to show you as well. Yoshi says, do you need to degrain and undistort before the training? Well, not really. The distortion is not a factor because he's using the image. The image is the ground truth. The grain could be a problem. Because remember, I'm only painting on 1 or 2 frames, and so you will not know what to do with the other frames. So I would advise to denoise and then renoise, because the data, because you only on the other shot, for example, because I only painted 3 frames. I don't believe 3 frames would be enough data for it to know what to do with the grain. So I would advise you, Yoshi, to denoise and then regrain. As you can see, it's working really well. There's only 1 failure so far, which I noticed on the top there. But it's incredibly amazing what it did for what we didn't do training for this shot. It's probably almost cached. I should have rendered this. I apologize for that. This is okay, so... So there is a problem on his upper eye. So as you can see, it fails on the middle of the nose and it fails on the eye and on the nose. So as I can see, there's 3 problems that happen on the shot, which is really good for what we have. So remember, this was not trained. I trained it on another shot. I should really render this, and I should have cached it. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just I'm gonna do this. Should have really cached. I should have really rendered this before. I think I'm gonna do that while I answer some questions. I'm gonna do that, okay? If you guys don't mind, I'm just gonna do that because it's better for me to play this back properly, because it's too slow for me to play it back like this. No, I'm like, and it crashed. Look at that, amazing. I've been running this thing for an hour and for an hour and 40 minutes, and it's the first time it crashed. I am impressed, but it did crash, and the funny thing is that it crashed while opening a write node. It is just like, oh my god, how can it crash there? How is that even possible? It's so silly. It's so silly. Oh no. Okay, it's fine. I'm gonna leave it rendering, and maybe we do a break, and then I can come back and I can talk more about it. Okay. It's so stupid. This thing is so stupid. Okay, let's just do this. Okay. Let's try this again, shall we? I'm gonna not look at the thing, and I'm gonna put a write node and save it separately. Look, it crashes when I go to the... Why is it doing that? Okay, I'm gonna do this. Why is it crashing? Why? All this work, all this time. If Foundry is watching, I am so sorry. It is crashing. I don't know why it's crashing. I have no idea why it's crashing, but it is crashing. Hopefully it works now. If it doesn't work, I'll do it during the break, and then we can. Yeah, I think it could also be. Should I send this to the Foundry? Yes, let's send this to the Foundry. Why not? So they can have my crash report. Yes, there you go. So if I copy this, can I still click here? Yes, now it works. Okay, for some reason I copy pasted the write note from another script, and then it worked. Go figure. So that's fine. So I can render this here, and I can render it to suburbs. Yeah, so I'm gonna render it. It will be rendered into suburbs there, and it would be... So this would be shot 10. So this would be CopyCat. Yeah, I apologize. I forgot to render this. Should have done it before. So we'll do a break while it's rendering. I don't think it's gonna take too long to render anyway. So I'm just gonna do an RGB and CopyCat. This would be version 4, and I don't think it would take too long. So this is not shot. Yeah, it is shot 10. Yeah, so exactly, that's fine. So okay, so I've saved now, and I'm gonna press render, and hopefully input, yes, and hopefully it renders. Okay, so yeah, okay, 2 minutes is not too long, too bad. So it was the right node, yes. It was the right node. I know. I'll leave it render for a minute there, and I'm gonna focus my attention into some of the questions and some of the chat as well. I do apologize. We've been running for so long now with no questions, but what we will do, and by the way, like, thank you so much, Mari, what's the name? Sorry, trying to read, and my eyes are. Mark AB, thank you so much for your kind words. They say on YouTube, this is actually a great copycat example, great work and great way to explain CC in practice. Thank you so much for saying that, Mark. Marek, thank you so much for saying that. Okay. Yeah, Lucas, the same applies to your question. Lucas Nos on YouTube says, I related to aces and grain. Should the data be degrained? Yes, I do think it should be degrained before, and you need to kind of clamp it. I get better results with clamping as well. And let's see, more questions here. NVIDIA released their small... So Marek B says, NVIDIA released their small and inexpensive mini computers with... yeah, that's good. With an RTX, that's maybe a good way to do it. We'll answer some questions in a second. I think this is now rendered, so I can now show you. So I'll just put it back here. And then we'll do a break, and then I want to show you some of my rotoscoping examples as well, because I did that as well. So we'll get to that in a second. So okay, 20 seconds, almost done. We're still waiting. Course giveaway. Yes, the course giveaway. I'll put the links on the chat. There's not just one course giveaway. There's also a Nuke Indie license giveaway as well. So I'm putting the links on the chat. I'll do the giveaway of the course one after the break, and then I'll do the giveaway of the Nuke Indie at the end as well. You do not, for the Nuke license, you do not have to be here, okay? I just wanted to say that because a lot of people, already 400 people already came today. We already had 400 people coming in and out of the stream. So I'm definitely not going to force people to be here. You can still sign up to the giveaway even if you can't be here. I will still give you the giveaway of the Nuke license. So I'm doing an exception today because it is a different type of stream and we have a lot more people watching. And I want to be like, I don't want to be a dick about it. Okay, so let's just cache this thing. Caching it will be a lot faster to play it back. Okay, so let's have a look now what we have here. So as I was saying, it's going to be played back. Yeah, so we have several problems, which has to do with some of the things that we probably would have to do. So main problems we have is this. Like we have the nose. Yeah, the eye there breaks because he thinks the eye is a tracking marker. So that's problem number one. Not very easy to fix. We can use a reveal. I mean, it would be really easy to fix that, actually. You could just put just like the plate, just put a Roto Paint node. Again, this is not a tutorial, but you know how this works. You could put like that, and then you could use just like a reveal. Sorry, I need to like background 1, and you could just type it into there, and then we could just like do... where is it? So you could do just reveal. And so we could just do this. It's too big. So we could just do that, and that frame is done. So that frame is fixed. And then this frame is fixed as well. He closes the eye. See here, what else? Yeah, there's some problems going on here. That I can't reveal. So, and that dot is still there. So there's a couple of issues there. And then the eye, I think the eye, yeah, there's a dot that shows up here. You notice there? That dot needs to be cleaned as well. And the nostril is going berserk, see? So I need to like clean that one up, that one up, that one up, that one up, and this one up here. So I basically would have to open the nostrils really, because for some reason the data set is trying to clean the nostrils for some reason. I don't know why. But you get the picture. I would have to paint all of that with a reveal on all the frames, and then I think there's a massive problem going on here on the front there. I think it's here, see? That needs to be painted over with the reveal. And that one is a massive one. And that flicker is also a massive one. And then it goes away. So yeah, yeah, it has occluded nostrils, I know. So as you can see, this wouldn't be too problematic. I would have to like... Yeah, this is also occluded here. Occluded here. Occluded here. Occluded. Occluded. Yeah, you get the picture. I would have to go frame by frame and doing that. But it's not too bad. I mean, come on, guys. Like, I mean, this is with no training, right? I mean, it's already in a really good place. And that, this thing in the middle here, I would just have to clean that up. I think I would eventually have to actually clean it up. I would have to, like, maybe do a reveal and put it back. Well, maybe not, actually. Wait a minute. Yeah, it is on the middle there. So I would have to reveal it back and then paint just that. So that would also be a possibility for you to just paint. But remember, we did a 5-hour training, which was for another shot. And now I'm using the inference to this shot. I could reveal some of it and then paint others and then just track one of them maybe. So we're already like saving days of work, okay? Like days. Just, you see why I'm so excited about this? Why I was so excited to do this stream? Because when I saw this, I was like, oh man, it took us so long to do this. And I was like thinking all my students and I thinking to everyone working in this, and like, oh my God. Jesus. Yeah. I think it's yeah, Robbie is saying, I did the suburb shot. The cleanup was fine, but I got slightly color shift on the shirt. Dynamic range thing. Yes, dynamic range is a problem, for sure. So that's something that we need to, like, look into that. But, okay, so I've now shown you painting examples. So this is examples for painting. Now, we don't need to do this. This exists for other things as well. It is also possible to do other types of painting things. You know, like it is possible also. I'll show you what I did here, but this is so silly. I need to show you this real quick. It's so stupid that I need to show you this. Because I did an example here. Before we go to the break, I'm just going to show you this. If I go to painting and I go to tests, and this is not finished yet, by the way. So I just wanted to all let you know that this is not finished. But I'll show you. I'll show you what I've been up to there. So you can paint other things. You can paint eyes, you can paint teeth, you can paint a bunch of things. So, and in fact, what I did here was, wait, so it's just opening up. This is a different thing. This is the same thing. I trained this with the Paint thing, and I think I did, how many epochs did I do on this thing? I did, this was just last night. I only did 16,000 epochs on this one. So I was trying to train what would happen if I had her teeth painted as gold. And so basically what I did was I went in. This is just a stupid example that I want to leave you before we do the break. So what I went in, this is really botched job just to test this. So I did a roto around the teeth, and I did it on 1, 2 frames, 3 frames, 4 frames, 6 frames. I did 6 frames. And then I painted it with the golden thing. And basically what I did here was I painted on frame 1, painted on frame 11, painted on frame 12. The grain needs to be done. I haven't done that yet. The grain, that's why you have so much grain. The grain needs to be denoised. But I did it on frame 1, frame 11, frame 21, frame 31, frame 41, and then a cropped version as well. So I did the golden teeth on these frames, and then I calculated this entire thing, and I did the processing. Can't remember how long it took, but I can go and check. So this would have been where? This was inside golden. So the golden thing was, let's see here. The first one was, sorry. So the first one was 9:30, and then it was until, yeah, then I stopped here. So it was, I did the first version from 9:30 to 10:30. So I did a 1 hour copycat, and then I stopped, did some adjustments. Then at 1 o'clock in the morning, I put it running again. And then it stopped at 3. So that is 4 hours of training, but I had 1 hour between. So it's 3 hours of training. Basically, I only trained for 3 hours, and basically I got this. So it tracked the teeth on all frames, and so basically I only painted 5 frames for the teeth, and then it's just applied the gold teeth to all the frames. And so again, this is what I'm meaning. Like, it really depends on what you pick and what you choose and how long you have, and it is really remarkable how this is easily done. Of course, it probably can be done in less than 3 hours by yourself, but it wasn't me doing it. That's the thing. I only took 20 minutes to paint this teeth. Then the machine was doing the job, and I was doing something else. You saw the timing. It was 9:30. I went to dinner. So I left the machine going, went to dinner, came back after seeing a TV show, and then I adjusted again, and then this is the result. It's not perfect, but it's just a test, just a small test. Just wanted to show you. I'm also doing another test. It's a bit more silly test that I'm doing here, which is trying to get a third eye on on her. This is something more silly, which I haven't finished. I need to paint it correctly, so I'm trying to see if I could bring an eye into the forehead and track it in perfectly. But this is a different conversation. So let's do a break before we go to Roto, so I can show you the Roto thing. So, and this is already taking much more longer than I thought. Anyway, we're going to do a 10-minute break, and then after we come back from the break, we're going to answer some questions to the giveaway, and then I'll show you some examples of Roto as well, which I want to show you. Now, I hope you're enjoying the stream. Really hope so. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have the giveaway after. I have a lot of things to show you on rotoscoping as well, which I've done with production rotoscoping as well. And I really hope that you're enjoying the stream. And of course, I cannot thank enough the Foundry for sponsoring this stream. Can't thank them enough. Thank you so much. I kid you not that because of them, that's why this channel is still alive. Without Foundry and without BangQ, my two main sponsors, this channel would not exist. I just wanted to let everyone know that. So thank you so much for all the help. So I'm going to be back in 10 minutes. Remember, as usual, we're going to have a break. During the break, we're going to have a commercial for the Foundry, a commercial for my wife's book. Remember, Green Recipes for All is here, available if you want to buy it. I'll put the link on the chat. This is a book from my wife, from Anna. Amazing book that you should really look into it. There is going to be a commercial during the break. And then there's a commercial for my Nuke course as well, which I will include. I will include CopyCat classes very soon because I'm making them now. What you're watching now, this is kind of the classes I'm making, which is going to be more detailed. Now, Ferrari, they do not sponsor my stream, no. I wish they did. Okay, so I'll leave you for 10 minutes. Put a timer if you don't want to be here. So exactly 10 minutes. Go in, stretch your legs, drink some water, go to the loo, or watch the commercials. It's up to you. I'll see you all very soon in 10 minutes, okay?
Foundry's Nuke is the industry standard tool for compositing in the film and TV industry. We've produced and curated all the essential resources for learning Nuke and preparing you for the profession, as well as recommendations for other training resources. You'll learn compositing fundamentals, rotoscoping, keying, tracking objects, color management, 3D compositing, and much more. Our objective is to empower artists with all the knowledge they need to push their skills to the next level. Jump in and start learning today.
Hello everyone! I'm super excited to give you a glimpse of my first cookbook, Green Recipes for All, featuring over 50 dishes inspired by amazing Mediterranean food. Inside you can find recipes made with a variety of fresh, healthy and versatile ingredients and popular plant-based products. These are great choices whether you already follow a plant-based diet or simply wish to cook a few weekly meat-free meals to reduce your overall meat consumption. In the book, you'll find a wide range of new and exclusive recipes, from soups and big salads to main courses and desserts, as well as some of the most popular recipes here on my channel, such as the perfectly cooked non-stick rice or the tabbouleh-style bulgur and mixed bean salad. Not forgetting a new version of the delicious tofu chocolate mousse. So, if you'd like to have a look at my book and try some of the recipes, just visit any Amazon marketplace and order a copy, which is available in hardcover, paperback or digital formats. Hope you enjoyed the book, have fun cooking, and see you next time.
Are you interested in learning compositing? My Nuke course is currently 50% off. Join today to have access to 150 pre-recorded classes, 50 hours of training, using real production assets covering industry standard techniques with over 200 gigs of showreel material and access to a private Discord channel with over 2,300 students. This course is endorsed by Foundry and has access to a Foundry student license paid separately. Join today at hugosdesk.myshopify.com.
Foundry's Nuke is the industry standard tool for compositing in the film and TV industry. We've produced and curated all the essential resources for learning Nuke and preparing you for the profession, as well as recommendations for other training resources. You'll learn compositing fundamentals, rotoscoping, keying, tracking objects, color management, 3D compositing, and much more. Our objective is to empower artists with all the knowledge they need to push their skills to the next level. Jump in and start learning today.
Okay, I'm back a bit early. I know it's still 4 minutes to go for the 10 minutes, but I figured that since I was going to waste time to start my green cola, I might as well do it during the break. So I keep saying this on all the streams. I'm not sponsored by Green Cola at all. But I do love their cola, and it's really good because it doesn't have any of the nasty... That's the green cola there. Doesn't have any of the nasty acids that break your teeth, you know? It's very natural, and it tastes really good. It's much better than normal Coca-Cola. So I just wanted to let everyone know that. I really love this brand. They're doing a great job on having a very natural flavored cola with not the nasty stuff that break your teeth and marrow. So just wanted to say that. I am not sponsored by them. I keep saying this. And so I figured that I would do this during the break so that I wouldn't waste it on time. We do have a hard cut, so I need to go away in about 45 minutes. So as always, I prepared 5 things. I will only show 2. It's always like this. Keep in mind, I know that keep in mind that a few of my students are watching. The classes on CopyCat are not on the course yet, but as you saw all these shots that I've been showing, I've been recording them, and I have them all almost ready, so they should be available on the course in the upcoming weeks, and they will be free to all my students. So, don't worry. All the stuff you've seen here, I go quite deeply into it through the course to show you. But yeah, thumbs up. That's nice. That is very nice. Okay. As promised, let's do the giveaway. So I'm going to do the giveaway of the Nuke, not the Nuke license, but my Nuke course. So remember that, where is it? Sorry. So my Nuke course is, no, that's not what I wanted. This is my Nuke course giveaway. I'm going to do the giveaway now. As I said, this stream is a bit different from the other streams that I do. A lot more people watching, so I'm not going to force people to actually be here. So I'm going to put it here in the chat for you to have the opportunity to sign up to the giveaway. If you're my student, don't worry. You can kind of get the workshops, or you can get my new course that I'm making currently. So let's see here. So we have about, how many people do we have signed up for this? Okay, well, 30 people. We have 30 people that could win this thing. Let's roll the dice and see who won the Nuke course for free. Let's have a look here. Okay, so I have a name here now. Would be so much cooler if they are here. I hope they are. So, winner of the Nuke course is... I don't remember this name, though. So maybe it is not a student of mine. I don't think it is. I don't remember seeing this name. I'm posting it on the chat now. So the winner of the Nuke course is Malte Abigorst. I think that's... So Malte Abigorst is the winner of the Nuke course. So basically, Malte, I will contact you. I hope I didn't butcher your name too much. I hope so. So congratulations, my friend. You've won the Nuke course. And the giveaway for the Nuke Indie license will be at the end of the stream. Oh, you're here. Okay, congratulations, Malte. Congratulations, you've won my course. If you're my student already, I'll give you the workshops. But don't worry, everyone. Like, you could go and buy my course, which is 70% off right now. So, I will, of course, give more courses at some point on the next stream. We'll have a new... Well, don't forget, we have another stream next week. So, you know, and I forgot to put the link while you were on the break. The Green Recipes for All, which is my wife's cookbook, was on display as well. It's available on Amazon, on all Amazons, and on Kindle as well if you want to link there. Cool. Congratulations. And yeah, and that's it really. Okay, let's just jump into this back again. And again, I'll do the giveaway of the Nuke Indie license in a second. So I'll leave it on the screen there while I'm opening the script. So I'm going to close all the painting scripts. I'm closing them now. And we'll talk about them in the next stream. Remember, we're going to have another stream in a month from now. And also, like I was letting you know that if you didn't win the course now, we will have more showreel reviews. We have another one on the 30th, as you can see there. We have another one on the 13th and another one on the 25th. So there will be more opportunities for you to win the Nuke course. But anyway, let me just close this up, and I'm gonna save my GPU power by closing all these windows that I have here, because there's so many open here. I'm gonna just close them out. I'll be in the screen in a second. I'm just like doing a bit of cleanup here, and have them all here now. I don't believe we have time to go through everything I wanted to go through today, but I wasn't expecting that to happen. So I'm going to go through as much as I can and then maybe answer some questions. While I'm opening this, if there are questions, maybe if you had questions before, I apologize to you in advance that I didn't answer them maybe yet, but you could always repeat them on the chat. I have no moderator today, so keep in mind that I'm a one-man show. There's only me here. Look, there's only me. There's no one else here. There's no one else. There's no copy pilot. There's no co-pilot. There's no helper. There's no one underneath the table there. I'm here. Here, underneath the table. There's no one here. No one is assisting me. So I'm running this entire thing. I have like my comments here. I have my Nuke going on here. I have my streaming box there. I have like my DaVinci going on there. I have the streaming software going on there. A lot of stuff going on here. And here's the thing, like all of this, I'm running all these monitors on my computer. So it could be because of that I don't have enough power on my GPU to do the copycat because I'm running all these monitors. I need to test that. I need to test just with one single monitor and see if I get better results on the processing. Could be. So Yoshi is asking how much VRAM takes training model on your GPU. Usually it's taking like maybe 40% to 50%. I have never, ever yet have filled up the training data, ever. I've never got a warning with VRAM. So not entirely sure if it's because I have 32 gigs of VRAM. Maybe it's because it's so much. It could be because of that I haven't reached the limit. And then I have 2 of them, so there's 64 VRAM available, I guess. So could be that. I don't know. Let's see here. What else? Okay, so Apox file. Okay. Try the system. Okay. Let's see here. What was I? Yeah, so I'm going to show you this. I'm going to show you a Roto example. So this is going to be from a project I did years ago. My students know this project very well. It's the BBC God Only Knows, and this is a project. I'm using projects that I have the permission to show. That I can't really use the new ones that I've done lately, because I can't use the ones I just finished compositing on a TV show for Amazon Prime. I can't use those shots because I don't have permission to show them. But if I had, I would love to do that. Yeah, so you guys have probably seen this before. This is a big film I supervised years ago. It was for the BBC, and it's like filled with visual effects. It's a big show. A lot of my students already know some of these shots. And so I wanted to show you the least, like the most problematic part of oh, sorry, I'm not showing my... No, I am showing my desktop. I am? Yeah, I am. Sorry, I thought I wasn't showing my desktop. Yes, I am. So this is the most problematic part of my stream, which is the rotoscoping. So here's the final comp of this shot. So we have Pharrell, which was rotoscoped. And so that's the final shot that we comped at the time. The compositing itself... I'll show you the original. So this is the script we did at the time. So just give me a second. This is a live stream, so can't get more live than this. Okay. Okay, so this is the original stream, the original script that we used at the time. So basically there's several elements here. We have, of course, Pharrell itself, which is on this staircase with green screen. There's some cleanup with markers. And then we also have the background plate, which is these dudes here. And then we have this thing here as well. And we have also, yeah, a bunch of stuff. And by the end of it, we get this that I just showed you. That's what we get by the end of it. That's the composite. At the time, this is why I'm showing this example. At the time, this was rotoscoped by a company called Trace, which is a company in India, and they rotoscoped this. This is what they did at the time. They did a fantastic job. It was a company called Trace. I have no idea if they still exist, but at the time, Trace VFX did this roto, did an amazing job, and basically we basically got a red channel, which was Pharrell. Green channel was the staircase. Blue channel, yeah, we only have 2 rotos. So the staircase and Pharrell itself. Amazing piece of rotoscoping that they made. I can't remember how long it took, but you see it has motion blur. It has a lot of details. You know, it's a very good piece of rotoscoping. So here's the thing. How close can CopyCat... Yeah, it doesn't exist anymore. Okay, I thought it still existed. How close can CopyCat get to this? That's kind of my exercise here. And so I went and tried to find out. And so what I did, and I did this a lot of times, you see, these are all the inferences. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I did 9 inferences to try to discover how long it would take me to do this. And so, again, I'm not going to roto this, of course, because there's no point of me rotoing this. Live on stream is going to take hours for me to roto, but let's consider that if you got this, you would have rotoed a few frames. And so in my choice, I've rotoed, except the crops, I rotoed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frames. And so that's what I rotoed for this specific exercise. The reason I did 7 frames, no, 7 or 6, sorry, I'm getting tired, and I have a cold. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frames. So I did 7 frames, and the reason I did these frames was because I did the first frame, which was this one, and then I did. Sorry, just a second. I need to go to the beginning. Yeah, that's the crop. Yeah, I did the first frame, and then I did one frame where his feet is motion blurred like that. So it was important for the system to know what to do with this. And then I did one frame which is when his feet is complete on the floor and his hands are in different places. And then I did one frame which was like that, and then another frame which was like this, which he has one hand is covered and the other foot is open with motion blur. Then I did another frame which is both foot are not motion blurred, but they are together. And then I did another frame which was the end. And then I did crops. I did this crop and I did this crop. So let's assume that I rotoscoped all of that. So this would be my rotoscopes, okay? So let's say that we would take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's 7 frames because the crops count twice. So it's 7 frames that I rotoscoped. So this would be rotoscoped by hand. And you still need to rotoscope this correctly. Now, very important that you need to consider this is that the motion blur is part of it. So you see this motion blur here? You still need to put the motion blur in. You still need to do that. And so for that to happen, I would advise you to either add motion blur by hand or roto the frame before and the frame after. So if you have a very long sequence, you probably would end up rotoscoping, a lot of frames. And so consider that. Consider that this is not as straightforward as the example that I showed you before. But I still did it. And so this is a different process because I'm using a copy and I'm using the channel. So instead of copying, I only have one single channel with everything. Because the way this works is that you need to tell. So basically, you need to keep one with just the footage and one just with the roto. So in this case, the CopyCat needs to know what the footage is. It needs to know what the roto is with nothing else. And it has to be roto on red, by the way. And so that's the ground truth. And so when I open this up, I believe the last time I did this, let's have a look. No, sorry, not that. I did 65. You see, it failed quite a few times. I did it once, stopped again, started. So I did it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And I'm still not close on 0. So you're already going to see, spoiler alert, this is not going to be perfect. Spoiler alert. I'm just going to give you that already. I could continue. I mean, I could assume that maybe I could try 100,000. Maybe that could be an idea. So let's have a look. How long was I doing this? Just so we can see. So this would have been. Oh, sorry. What was the name of it? It was called CopyCat BBC. CopyCat BBC. So CopyCat BBC. I did a first go at 9 o'clock, and then I went to midnight, 9 o'clock, 1, 2, 3. I think I did it all in a go. The last time I did it all in a go. So this is like 10 hours of processing. More, 12 hours. Well, I think I stopped. About 12 hours of processing. So this is like half a day that has been going to do these 65,000 epochs. And again, consider my machine is not the fastest. I only have one GPU operating for some reason. But maybe I can try 100,000. I don't know. I need to try this. And doing the metadata, the data is human matting large, and it's basically auto batch, and I haven't really changed anything else. And so the result, I did a lot of results. So this is the first result I did, which is this one. So that's the first result, which I should have rendered all these, but I didn't. I'll render it in a second. So this is the first result I got. So this is the first time I did it. As you can see, it go crazy on the feet. But the rest, well, never mind this thing. Not sure why it's picking up. That's an easy thing for you to rotoscope. And so the feet went a bit bananas. What I've understood from doing this is that maybe I need to do more frames on the feet. Or maybe I need to do crops on the feet. I haven't done that yet. This is still a work in progress. Like I said, these shots that you're looking at on this stream, these are shots I'm making for my students for my Nuke course. And so I haven't finished any of these. So I'm still doing them so that I can present them to my students and show the class. And so I should probably... I've not done thin lines here yet, no, Fry. I have not done that yet. Like I said, This is an entire process that I'm testing all of these things. But considering that I only gave him 6 frames, I still think this is actually quite cool. It's really cool. If you look at it, really, and you start to stay away from it and start thinking that machine learning is not going to do every job for you, just look at it. It's not that bad. And this is the first go at it. I did several goes at it because this was the first thing I tested in machine learning. And so I was just like trying to see. So let's render the last one just to see how good did we get. Okay. I'm going to just render this out and see if hopefully it doesn't crash now. No, it didn't. Okay. I'm going to just like try to see how good this gets. So I'm going to just put BBC here. And then I'm going to go here, and this would be CopyCat version. So it would be CopyCat shot 24. And this would be CopyCat in here. CopyCat version. This is version 5. That's what I've rendered here. I don't need to do a DPX, though. For some reason, he's doing DPX. This is because by then we were doing DPXs. I don't need to do zip as well. I'm going to do DreamWorks, and I only need RGB. Well, no, actually, I need just the red channel. That's right. I only need the red because I believe that's only making the red channel, isn't it? Like I'm just checking. Yeah, it's only making the red channel anyway. So it doesn't really matter, I think. Okay, so I'm going to only render the red channel. So I'm going to render out. This is the last version I did. Okay. And while I'm waiting this minute that it's taking, I'm going to answer some questions. So Yoshi already said about the hair. Expect me to test that. I have a few shots on my Nuke course which I can use the hair and test that out. Yeah, so any other questions? I think I've answered the GPU question already. And let's see here on Twitch. Avram Vrevsky 3D on Twitch says, Hugo, just say hello. Do you think Max will win the title now that it comes close to McLaren? I hope so. I'm rooting for Max now. I figure that. I really think it would be nice if Max Verstappen would win the championship. Anything but McLaren. I'm happy for that. Anything. Avramonsky. Okay, great. I'm trying my best, man. I'm trying my best, my friend. So Leon asked before if this stream was going to be on YouTube. Yes, it will. The entire thing will going to be on YouTube as a render, as not a render, as a recording. So of course you can watch it later. Okay, so let's just load this up and see how close did we get. So this is the CopyCat, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to also test this out. In the real thing. So I'm gonna have the piece. I have the piece of footage. I'm getting tired because we've been doing this for 2 hours and a half, so I am getting a bit tired. So I'm gonna just test this thing out, which is the render, and I have the footage here. And let's look at the render. So I need to cache it as well. So cache it in, and I'm gonna do full frame processing so we can look at it and see what's going on. Remember, this is the last time I did. This is with how many epochs? I'm currently on 65,000 epochs. Okay, so I still think this is remarkably good. Look at it. The motion blur is good. The hand looks really great. Look at that. The foot goes a bit nuts. Like this is the main problem. See, it goes crazy here. Not something you can't fix. You could roto this just these frames. Or I could try to crop. This is what I was saying on the beginning of the stream. You need to consider how much time you have. Do I have time to go and roto these frames correctly? Or do I give more epochs and maybe crops on the feet? Maybe tell the system these feet should stay correct. The same goes for up here. I think there's a problem here. See, there's a problem there. Which it's only one frame. It's not big deal. And then there's another frame there. And then I think it goes berserk there as well. So there's a couple of places where it goes a bit nuts. And that's really... But still, consider how good is this for 7 7 frames that I rotoed. So I rotoed 7 frames, gave it to the system overnight, 12 hours, and I got this. This is really doable. This is a rotoscope that I could use, and I could paint the rest out, especially the feet problem. And I'm going to show you how good this looks by looking at the pre-mold. So this would be I'm going to also crop the back there because there's no need for us to see the back. We only show it there. So this is the rotoscope now. This is the full rotoscope that I got. Now, how does this compare versus the one I got from Trace? So this is the one from Trace. Let's put it side by side and just have a look. Of course, the one on Trace is going to look better, of course. But the one on Trace was done for I don't know how many hours. I don't even imagine how many hours they took them to do that. I have no idea. So, oh, sorry. I would have to put, not that, just the red. I just want the red channel, nothing else. Exactly. So maybe I can put them side by side and just do it this way. Yeah, that's probably a good idea because I can just then trace this and yeah, so I'm just going to move it to the side there. So that's going to be trace. And then I'm going to put another transform node here. And I'm going to put it to the other side, minus 200. Oh, not scale. What am I doing? Minus through 200, minus 200, like that. So minus. Come on, Hugo. Minus. So that would be one and the other. I don't want the... oh, that's right. I don't want the... I'll just do this. I'll just do a plus instead. So I'm just going to move this to the side. I just want to compare it in a better way. Need to put a crop there because that thing is being cropped there. I don't want that. And so that should work. Okay, cool. So let's compare this and see how close it got. So left side is the CopyCat Roto. Right side is the Trace VFX done by hand by someone. And okay, so as you can see, the hand motion blur is matching quite nicely. The foot is matching quite nicely. There's a little bit of something here which needs to be cleaned up. For you see, the one on CopyCat has some leftovers. Could be this could be color corrected, not too chavvy. But let's just play it back. So I'm gonna put it in full screen and let's just go and play it back. Okay, so as you can see, it's very similar, but let's go frame by frame. Let's focus on the hand. So as it goes in through, there's a couple of problems going on here compared to that one. It's still quite close enough, and then it goes away. And then the other hand, there's some broken stuff there, so maybe I need to give him a crop to that hand for him to see what's happening, because you see that's... But then again, I could clean this up, you know. So, you know. So, and then as I go further, there's a berserk there, which doesn't exist on the original, but that's just one frame. But as you can see, that's fine. It still compares. I even picked up this part of the jacket as well. And as I go further, it even picked up the hands, you know, because he's doing this, you know. He's like doing this. It even picked up that. So CopyCat actually picked that up. It broke on that side. But, and then of course the feet was the biggest problem. That's the biggest issue, I think. It's here, you see, the fit connection, that's broken, then it's fine, then it's broken, then it's completely broken, and then it holds up. So after doing this, I kind of consider, wow, I'm okay, fuck, man, this was just like, I only did 6 frames. Like, I only did 6 frames. And how close did I get to the one from Trace? I mean, with a couple of hours of cleanup, I can probably get that one to be the same. That is still, I would say that this saved me days of work, for sure. And so that's what I wanted to show you. Obviously, I don't have the mat. I know I don't have the lines. I don't have the roto. I don't have I don't have that. I can't edit them. But how do you see how I am excited about this? How good is that? Like, I think the Foundry, I mean, I criticize them a lot as well when they don't do better, but this is an amazing tool they made here. So congratulations, Foundry, because I think CopyCat is an outstanding tool. And I know this is not perfect, but like Claudio was saying before, there is no perfect Roto at all. But this is so close that I would accept this as production, because the rest I clean up myself. Come on, guys. Like, how easy is it for you to just clean that up? I mean, it's just on a couple frames. How many problems do we have? 5, 6, 10 frames? The rest is kind of fine. And let's not forget that most likely I could use this training data for other shots. So it's not just like this shot. You saw what I did with the cleanup of the face. I could reuse it on the other shot as well. So that's one thing. Obviously, if I use this in production, it wouldn't really fit in. It wouldn't be perfect. But I think, you know... So, okay. Before we go, I wanted to show you something else. So let's say that we don't have any time whatsoever, okay? Let's say I have no time for this, okay? So I'm going to go and do, okay, I'm going to try the, because you remember when I was showing you Cattery? There is a few of them here. So we have the Vitmat, which, by the way, I can't make it work for some reason. I'm not sure why. Maybe the founder can help me with that. This does not work on my machine. Maybe it's just a Mac thing. I don't know. But we do have a segment thing. We have a Midas one as well. And we have a background matting. And we have a mod net. So there's a bunch of them here that we could try. So let's say we're doing a pre-comp. Let's say this is a CG artist. They're going to put Pharrell and CG. You know, like, let's say that. There is a possibility of you using the automated one. So if I go in here and I go and I do segmentation and go to ModNet, and so ModNet has no options, but let's say what it does. What does it do just by using it randomly as it is? You know, let's just see how good it goes. So this is what ModNet makes from scratch. So I'm gonna just play that back. So this is the system. I didn't train anything, didn't do anything. I just did it one click. This is the one-click solution. So ModNet made this Roto. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not good either, but it's not bad. If you think about it, this was a one-click system. Could definitely be used for just a pre-comp if you're doing CG. You know, for a CG artist, this is more than enough. No stabbing at CG artists here, okay? Now, let's look at another example. I'm going to open up another example. This is the Pint example. So I wanted to show you... Yeah, so this would be, let's see here, Roto, yeah, Pint. This is the one I want to open. Give me a second. By the way, once this is done, this streaming, it needs to process, of course, the YouTube stream. But eventually when it's processed, I will publish it tomorrow. It will be possible for you to watch if you have the link. So if you go to social media, you can have the link and watch it. But it won't be processed in full HD. So if you want to watch this again, wait for the next day for it to be processed, so the quality is not blurry. And also tomorrow, I will put in chapters for you to guide yourself through the chapters. So let's consider this. This is another project. This is a project for a film. It's a film called Pint, from a friend of mine, a director called Duncan Mayer, and sorry, I'm having a brain fart now. So basically, I'll show you the shot, the final shot. I have the script here, so just a second. I am getting a bit tired, so sorry. I'm just gonna like open up the original script. This is not finished, by the way. This is one of the shots I'm doing on my channel. So I am making just a second. I'm just opening a frame here. Sorry. Yeah, so I was correct. Duncan Gamma. Sorry, I was having like a some kind of brain freeze in my head. This is not finished, this shot, but it is kind of looking like this so far. We haven't finished it, and basically it's like I thought this was processed. Oh, wait a minute, is it processed? Ah, it is processed. Okay, but it is quite heavy, so I want to like. Basically, she's there, and the whole thing is that there's a body that comes from another floor and hits the car. So this is the CG was done by Sajel, which is one of our moderators, and I'm still comping this. This is one of the shots I have on my workshops, on my workshops, and so yeah. Oh yeah, hi Rec, how you doing? Definitely, I would advise you to go back and watch. I did some really cool copycat stuff. Today is all about copycat, so. You know, like maybe have a look and go and watch it again. So it is a gamble, yes. You're saying that I recently used copycat for a Roto and 3-day turnaround shot and commercial, saved my buttocks. Okay, it is a gamble. Yes, it is a gamble, but sometimes it pays off. That's the thing. You need to just try it out, and you'll get better and better at it. So this is the final shot. Of course, I had to rotoscope the girl so I can put the CG car behind it. So that's a CG car, and so it had to be behind her. And there's only a few frames that it needs to be behind anyway. It's only this part here that needs to go behind. So, you know, and the tracking markers, which I haven't even done, they will be copycat, of course. They'll be just immediately done by copycat. And not to mention also the cleanup of this thing. This is not finished. You see the cleanup there? This is not correct yet. I need to do a better cleanup with the part which is revealing which the car was there as well. So, you know, like a lot of things need to be done on this shot. But what I wanted to show you is this. So I'm going to just bring this over. I think it's this shot here. What I wanted to show you is this. So I first went in and I thought, okay, how much can I do with this? So I'm going to use, well, first of all, I did it in HD because I didn't want to be here forever. So how much can I roto with this with just ModNet? Okay, so I'm going to do ModNet here. How much can it do? And so this is another pipeline I wanted to show you. This is a different type of pipeline, which is I have ModNet, gave me this. Let's have a look. How good is this? It probably is crap, but let's try it. So this is the roto I got from ModNet. As you can see, it's all over the place. It's completely broken. It's completely like roll the dice. But notice how sometimes it works. So there's a few frames that actually works quite nicely. And it's quite impressive how it actually works so nicely in some frames. And so let's just cache it. While I'm caching, I have another question here on Twitch. At FX3X, I touched a bit Nuke, but actually I had a course in 6 months and did some stuff, clean up frame by frame. But it was so tedious, slow process. All the admiration of the artist. Yeah, but you see, now you can try copycat. Maybe it will work better. You know. Okay, so as you can see, this is definitely not going to work. It's a bit all over the place. It's broken. Once it's cached, I can show you. It's taking its time, sweet time to cache. Come on, man. Come on. Why is it taking so long to cache? Okay, so that's what I had. Okay, so it's all broken, it's all destroyed, but some frames are good, right? Some frames are good. So here's a different proposal for a pipeline. What if I pick up the render of what I did on ModNet and I run it to copycat? So let's say that I pick up that roto, which is terrible, as you just saw, and I choose the best frames out of it and some crops. And so I picked this frame, which looked okay-ish. I could go in and paint that over. I could have. I didn't. I just wanted to test this raw. So I could have gone in and fixed that frame. And then I did a cropped version of that. And then I did that frame. Again, could have fixed those things. Didn't. Because remember, the car is behind her. And then I went and did that frame. And then I went to that frame. Again, could have folks fixed this. Then I chose this frame. And then I chose that frame, which is not too bad. Then I chose this frame. And then I chose this frame. And then I chose this frame. And I think by this time, yeah, that frame, and then that frame, and then this frame. So all in all, I picked from the modnet, which is automatic, I picked, never mind the crops, so that's double. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I picked 12 frames from the modnet render, picked the best frames. I could have cleaned them up, didn't clean them up. Went into the system, did the whole thing, went to CopyCat, basically, and I can't remember off the top of my head, but I did basically, no, that's not right. 1,000? No, I can't. Was it that little? Oh, maybe I've loaded. Just give me a second. I think it probably is loaded somewhere else. So Pint. Oh, I think the training would have been this one. Yeah, sorry, I had the wrong training. No, that's wrong as well. This can't be right. Now I'm probably I can't be 1,004. It has to be a lot more than that. I have to assume it's a lot more than that. I can't remember top of my head how many steps I did. I don't believe it was 1,400. It was a lot more. I can't remember top of my head. It was just a couple of hours. I remember it was really fast. And then it gave me the result. And so the inference, I did a few inferences, and this was the result. And so doing that version gave me this. I'm going to just put an inference here and put an alpha channel. And so this is now the CopyCat version of the ModNet version. So I picked the ModNet, used the ModNet automatically. I should really render this. I'm going to do that because then I can show you the version side by side. It's probably better for me to do that. So if I should have rendered those things. Like I said, I'm still doing this for my students, and so I probably didn't render all of it because I'm still kind of doing it. CopyCat. So this is CopyCat version 6, I believe. So that's version 6. I'm going to just render it out. So that's the shuffle. And so let's see here. So yeah, exactly. So I just need the alpha. Well, I'll leave it at RGB. It's fine. So because I think it's all good. So I'll not zip. Doesn't need to be zip. Can be DreamWorks, and I'm just gonna like do that real quick. So input, yes, should take only a few minutes. Yoshi says there's a lot of inspiration on this stream. Thank you so much for saying that, my friend. Thank you so much for saying that. Definitely has been a great stream. We've had so far 500 people on this stream, which is really nice. Well, 500 on YouTube. On Twitch, I had another 71. Yeah, so we had 71. Yeah, we had almost 600 people on this stream so far. So I'm super happy with that. Thank you so much for all this amazing support. Foundry will be very happy with that, I'm sure. So, and we're almost done. I don't have much more to show you. And then I'll just give you some segues for the next stream, and then we'll do the last giveaway. We've been running for like almost 3 hours. I think it's more than fair that we do a break or we close down the show soon. Thanks for the little hearts also on the chat. Okay, so come on, man. How can it take so long to render an alpha channel? This is what I don't understand. Why is it so slow? Why is it so slow? Come on. While I'm waiting for that, I'm going to give you the opportunity to, if you like what you've seen, don't forget that you can support me on Patreon, okay? Just wanted to like shoehorn that in there. You can support me on Patreon. I have some exclusive videos there. I have some exclusive stuff. You get to see behind the scenes. You get to see some exclusive videos. It is the only way for me to survive is to get support. So there's a lot of ways of supporting the channel. You can support the channel on Patreon, and you get exclusive videos, including workshops. You can support the channel on YouTube as a member as well. You get your name in the credits. That's another way of supporting the channel. Or you can also, become a subscriber on Twitch. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can connect your Amazon account to Twitch. And then on Twitch, you can give me the subscription for free. So basically, you have a free subscription every month, and it costs you nothing. And I get paid by Amazon. How good is that? I get paid by the bald guy. The bald guy pays me. You don't spend any money. So those are the 3 ways you can support me. On Patreon, you can support me on members. You can also support me on the Twitch, Amazon Prime subscription. And of course, the last but not least, you can also support me by buying my Nuke course, which is 70% off right now. This is the last time I'm going to give some haggling there. So thank you so much for considering supporting the stream, considering supporting the channel. I hope you can consider supporting the channel. My channel needs your help. I need some help to survive so that the channel can continue in its glory days and have many more streams. Okay, so let's go back to this thing. And so this is now rendered. And so I'm going to show you the difference between them. So caching this thing. This is now cached. And I'm just going to put them side by side so we can see the difference. So you see, remember, I had the ModNet version, which was all broken. And then I made a version which was with feeding the ModNet algorithm into the CopyCat. You should render it, by the way. Do not link it directly, because it's going to take GPU processing on ModNet and then another GPU processing CopyCat. So you want to separate these two. So you want to pre-render them so you don't process the GPU even further. So what I'm doing here is I'm copycatting the CopyCat, okay? So I'm basically using the ModNet model, which is a CopyCat model anyway, and then I process it and then I copycat it on top. So I'm double copycatting it, you know, double copycatting it. Okay, so copycat. Yes. Rec is asking, I do have your first edition early access comp course. Can you tell what's new? And yeah, so if you are available and you have my course, you still have my course, and you already see all my new classes anyway. So if you are unfamiliar with how that works, just email me, message me, email me. I can show you what's new. There's a bunch of new classes, a bunch of new workshops. You still have access. If you don't have access, just contact me. I'm happy to give you a new access if you have lost the login or something. So the course has changed so much. There's so many new classes and so many things going. So yes, so this is copycat, and then the result is this. So these are the side by side. So on the right side we have, should have not moved it so much. On the right side we have the ModNet version, and on the left side we have the CopyCat improved version. And these are the differences between them. And as you can see, the new CopyCat version has cleaned up completely the bigger problems that my Key and Roto has. Now, this rotoscope is almost good enough for my CG comp, because remember, there's only a car behind it. So this rotoscope, with some adjustments, some color corrections, and some minor adjustments, could work perfectly for the shot I have. And as you can see, by copycatting the CopyCat, you can actually get a lot more improvement by using CopyCat on your advantage to help with the CopyCat. It's the same thing with the other dude with the dots on the face. I could have used the CopyCat version, the automatic one, to build another one. So yeah, so that's it. So that's pretty much it. I think now this is it. I don't think I have anything else that I want to show you today. The only thing I wanted to show you as well is this. This is something I'm still building, okay? So that will be the last thing I will show you today. And this is basically just me testing out the, well, and there's also something else here that I can show you. This is another thing I want to show you is the deep, and this is, of course, maybe we do that next time, okay? This is maybe for next time, because we're going to do another stream in about a month from now. So the next Nuke Deconstruction will be, let me just double check here, because I forgot the top of my head when it is. So the next Nuke Deconstruction is going to be on the 18th of November. So 18, so next 18 of November. So that's the date when I'm going to continue what I'm doing here as well. And then on the 4th of December, I'll do one just with the new 3D system of Nuke 17. I wanted to show you that as well. So yeah, so this is also an experiment I'm doing, which is to make depth maps out of footage. And so there's two types of models for that inside of CopyCat. One is called Mida, and the other one is Depth Pro. The Depth Pro is much better, but a lot slower. And I did manage to get this. I'll show you the render. So I've rendered this out. And I'll just show you, yeah, of course, Rec, just get in touch. Happy to give you access to the whole thing again. Don't worry. So this is what I got. This was a depth estimation map from CopyCat. Flickers a lot, but that's a solution as well. There is a way of me copycatting the CopyCat. And so I am now experimenting. How can I pick this flicker and actually copycat the flicker to remove the flicker and have a stable depth? Because the cool thing about this is that the depth is incredibly stable. And as you can see, even the locks of hair are there. It's really, really actually quite impressive, the amount of stability that it has. And in fact, it's so good that I think is worth the tests. You know, like I'm gonna just put a pipe here just to show you. So red channel here. The cool thing about this is that not only you can do color correction, but you can do fog. So everything can become Silent Hill with this kind of thing. There's also sorry Foundry, but there's also a DaVinci version of this as well, which you can try as well. It's not as stable as this one, but it works as well. And so basically what would happen here would be sorry, it's the other way around. So you see, this is quite powerful. And actually, in fact, I'm going to put a little bit of blue on it to make it like that. And I'm going to make it a bit denser as well. So let's do... I mean, is it perfect? No, it's not. You see the edges, but it's not too bad. It's not too shabby. Of course, it's great here, but if I, of course, play it back, you see the flicker is the main issue. So it is remarkably good for something one-click wonder. So I just clicked it once, and so it's like, okay, yeah, I know, Mike. I'm doing Inception now. It's like copycat on top of copycat on top of copycat and copycat. This is why, now you probably understand. Now you probably understand why I did this beautiful piece of art. I did this beautiful piece of art because I thought this is what I was going to do on the stream. I have all these nodes and I'm like copycatting on the copycatting on the copycatting on the copycatting. That's why I made this an amazing piece of art. I love it. It's one of my favorite thumbnails so far. I'm upping my thumbnail game for sure. You've probably seen my other thumbnail before. I'm definitely getting my thumbnail work coming up, you know. I'm getting better and better on my thumbnailing. It's thumbnailing perfection. Yes, Mike. Thumbnailing perfection. I'm going to get there. I'm going to make the best thumbnails of visual effects in the industry. You're going to see. I kid you not. You're going to see. Anyway, let's go back to this thing. We're almost done. We've been going for 3 hours. Jesus Christ. Okay, so this. What I want to show you is that now I think that this is actually possible to do something with this. And I have so many scripts now open that I don't even know where. Yeah, here we go. So this is something else that I've been... This is not finished, so I've been working on this last night, okay? So this is a shot for my short film, the short film that I never finish. And so... Basically, there's this dude here, which I haven't rotoscoped here. This dude that looks at you and has like these bloopy eyes. It's like a monster, which I haven't comped in yet. And so yesterday I was like thinking, how can I make it going with some smoke, and can I use the depth pass to cut the smoke and to get something going, and so yeah. So of course this entire thing falls apart by the fact that the depth pro, the deep pro that I made here, which was this, doesn't really work. And so if I give it a second, just a second. Just a second, don't crash on me now, no, please don't crash on me. Please, don't do this to me. It's warning me that it's been 3 hours, you see. There's a limit. It didn't crash, great. Okay, so, you see, this is perfect. If I figured, oh my god, this is amazing, it works really well. But it doesn't, does it? As you can see, it flickers quite a lot. And so this is a problem, of course. And so, because I wanted to use that to make some nice effect on the corridor. And so, because, you know, I wanted to try something like this. Let's just go see to a better frame. So let's say we go here to this frame. See, I wanted to like experiment with this, you know, like a foggy environment with this creature or something. I wanted to try to do something like this. This is just me experimenting. So I went in and I did the copycat to the copycat. So I went to Depth Pro and I did a few frames. And so basically I graded this one, graded that one, graded this one, graded this one. So basically what I did here was I corrected these ones, left them as they was, and this was corrected as well. So these are all the corrected ones. And on this side, I have the wrong ones, you know, the ones that are not corrected, you see? That's broken, that's broken, that's broken, that's broken. And so I did the copycat thing, and then I rendered it, and then I did the inference. I haven't rendered it yet, because I'm still... This was me last night. I was like trying to come up with something else to show you today. And so this is me just trying it out. And I think I did... How many did I do? How many? I did 3,000. So I did about 3,000. I stopped at 2,000, checked if it was working, did some adjustments, and then did 3,000 epochs. You notice the trend? I'm getting less and less and less epochs because I'm getting better at this. And so the more I go through this, the better I get, and then the epochs go down. And so I can hear a lot of fireworks. That's insane. And so this was the result. I basically checked if it could fix the flicker. I mean, kinda. I still only did 3,000 epochs, and then I went to bed to do this stream. And so this is the result so far. As you can see, it's more stable, but it still flickers. And so there's probably ways of doing this outside of Nuke even. Maybe the anti-flicker plugins that exist. Maybe Neat Video could be one of them. I could try that. Or maybe I could try some temporal filters using DaVinci. That could also work. But this is a process. It's a work in progress. So maybe next time I'll give this a go. But I'm quite happy with it because I think it is getting better. It flickers, but it flickers a lot less. And I think that's it. Yeah. So we've talked about a lot of things today, okay? And don't worry, everyone. Don't worry. They're celebrating. Yes, right. They're celebrating the return of the comp breakdowns. Yes, the compositing breakdowns were in pause because I didn't have time to do them, and I also didn't have a sponsor for them, so I couldn't really do them. But you know, Foundry came to the rescue and sponsored the stream, and at least now I can do them here live for all of you to watch. And also, it gave me a great way to get some classes going for my Nuke course, because everything you saw today, the guy with the facial dots, everything you saw today, the guy with the facial dots, the rotos, the deep, everything is like actually my classes that I'm preparing, which will be released soon. So all of the stuff you saw today has been part of my Nuke course. It's just that I still haven't delivered it. I'm still recording them and I'm still doing them. This is all the research that I've been doing. I'm going to put chapters on all of them. Don't worry, and you can rewatch this thing. So I'm happy to hear that, Mike. I'm super excited about this, and I'm really happy that you're excited about my excitement. So with that in mind, let's do the last giveaway, and then I'm going to leave it on the screen for all of you, or not that, all of you to still have time to put the giveaway. This is a brand new Nuke Indie license for 1 year, given to you for free by the Foundry. So I'll put the link on the chat here. And I can't thank you enough for being here. We had, like I said, now it's close to 700 people. So we had close to 700 people coming in and out of the stream, including Twitch. So I can't thank you enough. This is a great, great way to support my channel, because maybe I can convince more sponsors to sponsor my streams, and I can convince more people to support these streams so I can do more of them. I wish I could do them all the time, but YouTube doesn't pay anything, and so you need to like get some sponsors, otherwise you're just doing them for nothing. So thank you so much, Foundry, for supporting the channel like this. That's the link I just posted on Twitch, and I posted it on YouTube as well. So if you want to have a Nuke Indie for free, sign up there. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for you to all kind of like sign up for that, I'm going to just give you a little note for my Patreons. My Patreons also are, while I'm waiting for people to sign up more, my patrons are also the reason why my channel is still up. So thank you so much for my Patreons. I have several tiers on my Patreons, as you probably saw before. And the producer level, which is the highest tier on Patreon, these are the people that are part of it. So thank you so much for supporting my channel. So thank you so much, Adrian, Ben, Daniel, Fedor, Hiroshi, Kazun, Perti, Peter, and this. Thank you so much for supporting my channel as a producer level. Thank you so much. And also, I can't thank enough to all the members and YouTube Patreons, YouTube members and Patreons that every week are supporting the channel as a member on YouTube. I'm sorry, I'm going to switch my off so the name is not covered. I'm not going to name them all, but all the names are there. Thank you so much to all these people. Thank you so much. Some of them are friends of mine. Some of them been here forever, been here for years supporting the channel. Thank you so much to all these people that supported the channel so much. And yeah, with that in mind, I'm going to do the giveaway. So we have, how many people did the giveaway went to? While I'm waiting to the giveaway, I'm leaving my cheeky commercial here. I told you that my thumbnails are getting better. So we have a total of 50 people that signed up to the Nuke Indie giveaway. So 50 people have signed up, and I'm now going to announce the winner. So let's just check here. Who's the winner? Yeah, the signups were over at 9, I believe. So it was settled for 9. So it was closed about a minute ago. So, okay, so let's see here. So the Nuke Indie license goes to, now, okay. Nuke Indie goes to, sorry, I'm just like making sure I don't show their mail. I don't want to do that, okay, so that's the Nuke Indie license. I've misspelled Nuke, apologies for that. That's stupid. Okay, so that's the Nuke Indie license goes to... Okay, the Nuke Indie license goes to Avraz_O. Congratulations, my friend. Oh, you're here. Great. You're here, actually. Congratulations. Foundry gave you a Nuke Indie license for free for 1 year. Congratulations for that. And yeah. Much appreciated, and as well as always, thank you so much for being here. I couldn't do these streams without the Foundry. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the giveaway from the Foundry. And so now we're gonna wrap up. And it's just left for me to let you know that we do the next stream will be on the 30th of October. That's gonna be the Honest Showreel reviews. That's the next stream we're doing. And so join me on the 30th of October. And then, of course, in November, I'll have another Nuke Deconstruction. And in December, I have another Nuke Deconstruction. So, yeah. So thank you so much for being here. And thank you so much for the support. Thank you so much for the Foundry. I'm going to show the Foundry here. Thank you. Thank you, Foundry. Thank you so much. Thank you, Julia. Thank you, Jen. Thank you so much for all the help and all the support. Yeah. And that's it. That's it for me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Claudia, for being here for so long. Thank you so much. Don't worry. I'm going to put some chapters on this stream. Tomorrow will be all processed, and you can watch the chapters. And that's it. So, goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. Have a great weekend. Have a great day. Well, not weekend. Sorry, it's Tuesday. Have a great week. Have a great week. I'll see you all later. I'll see you in a few days. Hope you've enjoyed the stream. Please leave a comment below if you liked it. If you want more streams like this, please make sure you leave a comment below. It will mean a lot to me if you leave a comment and letting me know what you thought about it and everything. So, and of course, to all my students, don't forget, eventually, very soon, some of the stuff you saw today will trickle down into an entire collection of 10 classes on the Nuke course, which will be an entire week. This is week 19, which is a brand new week that I'm making for my Nuke course. Thank you so much, everyone. Goodbye, everyone. Bye.